So there's a glare from this TV and the monitor behind you guys. Do we want that?
There's a what?
There's a glare if you look at.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It really hits again?
Yeah.
You know what? Can I slide that over to the left?
Here, I'll do it.
Did you turn that on or was it already on, Lizzie?
What?
The TV.
Joe did it.
Oh, I like it on, but
do.
it does put a glare on us.
It does, but I do like it on too. Oh, sorry.
These wheels lock.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. All right, let's get over here. Hey, Ben, good morning, my friend. As I say, I hadn't seen you. I saw you Saturday. But...
Oh, yeah, we're going. I'm not sure which day. We're like debating.
Good morning, Gary and Lizzie and Trisha as well.
Yes, we're going out to the Defiance Roadhouse this weekend. Their breakfast menu looks to die for, too.
Marla knows food.
Yes, she does. Yeah, she does. We were looking at that last night. So we might have to go twice. We might have to go for breakfast.
And Ben knows beer.
Best combination. Beer. Breakfast, beer, food. I definitely want their breakfast, too. David was looking at last night and he was just salivating. Look at their breakfast.
Yeah, I had to turn that TV off. Even over there, it's got a glare.
That's a bummer.
I mean, like a really bad one.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome into the show before the show. Appreciate you guys here today. As we sit down. Hey, Benny, Chris, Sherry, good morning, guys. Thanks for liking. Karen, thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show to all. We're grateful for that. Getting things rocking and rolling here on a Wednesday. Hope everybody's all good.
We're already halfway through the week, and then
yes, we are.
Weekend.
Kimberly, good morning. Thanks, guys, for jumping in on all of our platforms on X and Facebook and YouTube and Rumble and Cloud Hub. Sherry, good morning. Are we talking about the attempted assassination of Trump at the Mar-A-Lago raid? Yeah, we will.
Oh, we are so doing that.
We'll start with that today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going that far.
Yeah.
Come
Well, you're
on.
wrong. You're wrong. Nick is wrong.
Oh, yeah. Come on. It's just more, you know.
No, it's not. It's the truth.
To get all the woke right fired up.
Well, I'm not woke right. I'm right, but I'm not woke right. And I think it's true. I do. I mean, it literally, it's true.
I think it's just, well, I think it's Winty's Roadhouse. Somebody's trying to Google it right now. Is it Winty's Roadhouse or just Roadhouse?
What you can even look at Facebook at Wendy's Roadhouse, and there's two different Facebook pages. I noticed there's one Wendy's, their original location that's awesome in Chesterfield Valley, and then there's Wendy's Roadhouse, which is the one in Defiance. And so they have breakfast. So if you want to go out to breakfast, you go to the one in Defiance. If you want everything else all day long, go to either one of them. They're both great. Breakfast looks so good.
Winty's Roadhouse is what it's called.
Yes.
Highway 94 is what it's listed on. Good morning to you, Jim. Oh, that's the other story.
If you guys are on X, or if you check in at X later, please, like, I guess they say repost or retweet. I know it's not a tweet anymore, but that really helps. For whatever reason, when you share X, way more than any of the other platforms, it bumps the numbers up. So it's not the numbers I'm concerned about, it's that other viewers actually hear the show or watch the show and hear the truth.
Mm-hmm. We appreciate everybody jumping in, of course, as always here on Cancel This. Let's see here. Yes, May 22nd.
Mitch is saying, let's listen to Trump speak the truth about the Tic Tacs again.
Oh my God.
I agree, Mitch. That cracked me up.
That was funny stuff.
I had to keep listening to it over and over.
I think that's gone, isn't it, Joe? We deleted
Tic Tacs,
that because we have so much stuff. The Tic Tac quote from yesterday.
Yeah. There was just a request. If you happen to see it, pull it up because we had a request for it. A lot of our listeners, we all thought that was so funny yesterday. So good.
All right. Tic Tacs.
Tic Tacs. Mm-hmm.
I found one. It's a 2-minute and 15-minute video, though.
It was that long?
I don't remember it being that long, but I found
We'll start with
one.
it.
Yeah,
all right,
let's go. We can start with it because it's pretty good.
We can go ahead and start the show. Whenever. You can get that ready and then you can just start the show, Joe. Hey guys, welcome into cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. It is Wednesday. It is hump day. It is May 22nd. We're ready to get you started on this day. Hey, by the way, thank you for all the support, liking, subscribing, sharing the show on Facebook, on X, on YouTube, on Rumble, and of course, Cloud Hub. We go to all those audio platforms as well. After, you know what we do? News headlines, politics, cancel culture stories, water cooler talk, whatever is happening in life. And of course, we try to share it all. And I'm grateful for that. I know moms love their kids. I had a chance to catch up with my mom yesterday. She's like, I just want to tell you. Yeah. She's like, you know what, Victor? You know what I love about your show with Lizzie and Joe is that you guys put it out there and then you let people take it. You're not trying to always sway somebody. However, it's like you back it with fact. It's about facts, not feelings. And I'm like, yep, that's right. Thanks, Mom.
Oh, that's so cute.
I was catching up. Also spoke to my aunt yesterday. She is in the area. She listens every day from the Metro East. And she's like, man, I really like that Lizzie.
Oh, that was nice. Tell her thank you.
Yeah.
And if you're on here, thank you
Aunt
very
Pat.
much.
And Patty.
Thank you very much, Aunt Patty.
Which was good.
We have a
And
lot of Metro East listeners. Maybe
that's
that's
right.
maybe
Metro
they're all
East.
your relatives, but
no, no, just a few. Also, was at my son's state lacrosse semifinal match last night.
oh, how'd that go?
It went great. I mean, they're dominating. They're up 11-4
That's awesome.
on DeSmet, but the rains came.
The rains came. The rain. It was huge last night.
So they're going to play 10 more minutes today. So they postponed the game.
10 more minutes. 10 more minutes.
I know. So it's going well. Yeah, they're going to win and move on to the state championship Friday night, which would be held over at Lindenwood University.
That's wonderful.
But when I was out there, the great thing and fun thing about it was two different people who I know, but I wouldn't have guessed that they'd be listening to the show. Both brought it up, said, hey, great job on that show every day.
Oh, that's great to
Love
hear.
listen. I was like, oh, you listen? Yeah, we listen. Or yeah, I listen. And I was like, thank you. Always good to hear that as
that's
well.
fun when people come up and say hi. I love that.
So, hey, we continue to try to do what we're doing. You guys spread the word, like, subscribe, share the show, let people know what we're going on, talk to businesses, let them know, get involved with us from that standpoint, sponsorships as well. Linda says, husband was at the Cardinals game last night. That also got postponed. They'll be making that up today in the St. Louis area. Huge rain, but gorgeous double rainbow in the Winfield area as well last night.
That's great.
Peter George, good morning, Peter. It's good to see you. Know what, Peter? I'll message you after the show, my friend. Anyway,
isn't that fun when people that you know outside of the show listen?
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Love it. I love it when they do.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So love that. And thank you. We really do appreciate you guys supporting the show for us. All right. It is Wednesday. We're ready to rock and roll. We've got a lot to get to. But yeah, okay, people are starting to freak out. No, I shouldn't say people. Let me scratch that. I just didn't say that. Okay. We got Judge Judy today talking about crime.
Good old.
And by the way, Judge Judy is not a Trump fan.
No, she's pretty liberal too.
But not when it comes to crime. And she is blasting our country. She'll explain that. The Cardinal game got take shelter because of everything that came in last night. We'll hear from that. We've got a plethora of more Biden screw-ups just over the last few days. We'll tell you how much more your tax dollars are going to go towards paying off people's student debt. Once again, it's all happening as we lead into election trying to buy votes. That's exactly why the Biden administration is doing that. Bill Maher on his book tour, pretty much embarrassing a View co-host to her face, which I was like, damn, that's pretty damn impressive. Your gas prices are probably going to get a little cheaper, but is it going to hurt us in the long run? We'll tell you what the Biden administration is doing there as well. We've also got some fun things with Donald Trump, some parody songs, but we have to start with this whole situation. Please like, subscribe, share the show when it comes to the DOJ.
Yeah, we have to talk.
All right. A report was released yesterday that the DOJ allowed, quote, use of force. Merrick Garland, the use of force. We'll go to, okay, there it is. The use of deadly force. Okay.
Look
when
at
they
his
went there.
face.
We're talking about a former president
Mm-hmm.
and his family that if any of the Trump family came against or tried to stop it, which they would never have. This is a former freaking president.
Right.
And his family, business owner,
Mm-hmm.
went against this in any way that you could use force. The agents, the FBI agents who went in were armed.
Mm-hmm.
They ransacked Barron's room, Melania's room, took pictures of everything, and
Including
caused
her underwear.
and caused all kinds of chaos.
That's right.
So all of this happens, but do you really think? First of all, it was all horrible. Lizzie,
Mhm.
this meant a lot to you. I didn't
did.
see it as if anything ever escalating, that it was an attempt on the former president's life.
I think Chris said something on the chat line on the show before the show, and this is well said. I'm going to quote him. He said, "I don't think it was necessarily an assassination attempt, but Chris said he's willing to concede that they wanted to give them an excuse. For the FBI willing to turn their guns on Secret Service agents, this administration is willing to do almost anything to stay in power." And that's my point too. I do believe that I do believe this, that if they do not get him out of office, they will eventually try to unalive him if they haven't already. This is an odd statement for the DOJ to say to a former or about a former president. If they do any resisting at all, use excessive force, use your guns. I think it's a big deal. I've said this often, that their hate and their ability to want power at all costs, and they have so much to hide. These people have so much to hide that Donald Trump to them is a threat to their power, their money, their way of life, exposing secrets. That I think this is huge. And I know that you don't, but I do, because I will continue to say they will do anything in their power to get rid of him, even if they unalive him. And that would have been an excuse. I'm not saying that was purposely what they were going to do, that they purposely were going to unalive him. But if he had done anything and they were given that orders, they would have done it. So that's scary. Just think about that. If you know that you're someone that has police come to your house and they were told use excessive force, go ahead and use your guns on these people. That says everything you need to know about that.
Okay, I thought this was an absolute bullshit move by the DOJ, Merrick Garland allowing this. Okay, but at the same point in time, I've also been told when raids happen that many agents are told you can use force if needed. Now, deadly, we're really getting out there. And this being a former president, yeah, you see what they're doing.
Yeah.
But at the same point in time, as I've said a couple different times, we're in a different time, a different era. He's not going to be unalived. He's just not, because it's just not going to happen. It's just not. However, doing this and it coming out that it was in there to try to hype up and amp up everything, yeah, I think it's there. And I think they knew that this would get out, and I think they did it on purpose. They want to send a message, and they want people to be pissed off. They want the right and far right people to become unhinged.
Well,
I think this is more about I think this is more about that woke right term that you used yesterday, which I love now.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that term.
Yeah.
Trying to get people all fired up and angry and divisive, because they knew when that hit the media, and it would piss people off. They did not go there to kill Donald Trump. They did not go there to assassinate him. That's what I'm saying.
What'd they go there to do?
They went there to cause a bunch of crap, a bunch of shit,
Correct.
A firestorm.
Yes.
I mean, there were fake photos we talked about yesterday. They put, and that whole case, guess what? It's going bye-bye. It's going to go bye-bye, just like the Russian hoax case.
It's all going to go bye-bye. But think of the frustration. You talk about revving people up. They do everything. They even make extravagant lies to try to get rid of this guy, and nothing happens. They can't do anything to him. They can't put him in jail. They can't shut him up. They try to muzzle him. They make huge lies. And that's part of the people on the right that do get revved up. And there is, I said this, there is a woke right that is just as woke as I said yesterday, as the woke left. But this is what, I don't think this is what this is about. I am definitely right, but I'm also gotten over the years more pragmatic to look at things are not always that black and white. I think this is pretty black and white. And
what do you think is black and white?
I think it's black and white that they will do anything in their power to hurt this man, even if they have to unalive him. I really believe that. And so, but here's the same thing that always comes out. We always find out about the truth that most of us already know. Well, I shouldn't say most of us, a lot of the listeners and people that are informed know, but they always tell you this DOJ information. So this is the point I do agree with you on, is that they do it to cause some sort of a ruckus, some sort of a division, some sort of a stir. But the truth is still the truth. They do want to hurt him in any manner that they can do that. And the interesting thing about it is we always find out the truth, but they wait until it doesn't matter as much anymore. The same thing with the pandemic. We find out about this, even though we knew we didn't want to take the thing in our arm and all of that. But then they bring it out 3 to 4 years later when people are not as angry about it. Even this raid, people are upset about it, that they admitted it, but they're not as jazzed about it as they would have right the week that the raid happened. So they tell you when they can subdue you a little bit, when you're not as upset about it, because people have lives. And so your attention span to some of the news is only 2 weeks. So if this happened, well after 2 weeks, and especially 3 years, people don't care as much anymore.
The use of deadly force in a raid like this can get people riled up. Jim says, think about it like this. Have you ever seen this much effort to tarnish the name and reputation of a former president? No. And that's a big part of this show. What is happening to Donald Trump and the border? They have something to hide and are scared of Trump. Yes, but they're not going to unalive him. And by the way, Susan, the term unalive is what we have to use so that, and it's not just us, it's all platforms. You have to be careful about language and vocabulary.
Correct. If you say the word that they're going to S him or K him, or you're going to commit S. And the reason I'm saying that is there's certain platforms that will take your show down that the rest of the day, and sometimes up to 14 days or 3 months. And so, and they're not just picking on us, they're picking on anybody's show. Look at many individuals that watch the show that are often struck at things that they say, because a lot of this is just two things. There's little liberals sitting there going, ha, 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 in somebody's basement. And there's also these bots that are sitting there, hear the word and bang, you're alerted.
Paul says, Vic, I agree 100%. They've been trying to get a reaction out of the right so they can justify calling them the extreme right or the extreme right.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that part of it.
Jay says it was all staged. I agree.
I agree with that too.
That's why I'm not thinking that I'm not getting into a situation where I think they're going to because it would look so bad upon the left. They
don't care though, Vic. They don't care how bad they look. Look at the stuff that they lie about and that they say, and they know we know now. They know they cheated. We know that we know about the Russia stuff is all alive. Literally, if they could get rid of him.
And by the way, they is the deep state.
It's the deep state. I'm glad you said that. It's the deep state.
Even liberal Bill Maher has acknowledged that there is a deep state of people. Yes. Even Bill Maher, who is an ultra liberal and not a Trump fan, agrees with Donald Trump. There is a deep state, not only in America, but maybe across the world, that are trying to put things in place. You can call them the globalist, you can call them the communist, whatever. Those sorts of things are happening. Think about that for a second. But not for a second do I think they went there to try to kill him. No.
Well, I don't know if they went there to kill him, but I do think they will use any excuse to unalive him at any cost. They would do it. If Donald Trump, say, okay, in a fit of anger, has somebody comes up to you and gets mad and you kind of pushed him back, or if you said something and you got in their face or whatever, I believe somebody would have pulled a gun on him. 100%. He wasn't going to do that. I agree with you. He was the president of the United States. He's not going to act like that. But sometimes people push you to the point of brink, and they would have done something to him.
Karen says Biden's a snake. Jay says an attempt to push people away from Trump, that backfiring big time.
Absolutely.
It is. And we're starting to see it. And that's why I'm not jumping into this whole pool, and I'm not getting all riled up about it. Donald Trump did have a quote that he put out on Trump or True Social about this. I like that Trump Social though.
Yeah, I like that.
Trump
Let's
Social.
just change it.
Yeah, we can put that to Trump
The
Social.
Trump Social. Love it.
And then we'll go ahead and read this quote. Donald Trump says, "Wow!" exclamation point. "I just came out of the Biden witch hunt trial in Manhattan, the icebox because of the temperature of the courtroom, and was shown reports that crooked Joe Biden's DOJ, in their illegal and unconstitutional raid of Mar-A-Lago, and then now in all caps, authorized the FBI to use deadly, in parentheses, lethal force. Now we know for sure that Joe Biden is a serious threat to democracy. He is mentally unfit to hold office. 25th Amendment, exclamation point.
I love
24th Amendment to remove him because he can't do the job." So that was Donald Trump's response on it. I guess that was the last thing that they wanted, because they brought helicopters, they brought CNN, they brought MSNBC, they brought all these things there to the table. But it does show you, and it's even more ammunition, more gas for that fire, when people know what is happening to Donald Trump, what they are trying to do to him and the family. I don't know how you could be a Democrat, really, and back this stuff.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I mean, I know about Trump derangement syndrome, but still, to back and say, yes, I'm a Democrat, when you know that Democrats are doing these kinds of things.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why that there is less and less. I don't think there's less and less Democrats, but I think there's less and less people speaking out about it, because any of the friends that I have that are liberal and they still vote Democrat, they're very quiet right now. They're not the real bold, I hate Donald Trump, because that brings up a conversation. Oh, really? Then what do you like about Joe Biden? Because they can't say anything they like. They can't. When you even see Bill Maher and Judge Judy and a lot of these liberals that are telling people, back it down. Stop doing some of these things. You're making the divide bigger and more noticeable. So they're just being quiet. I don't know that we've changed anybody's mind. I think the Democrats, that if they haven't changed by now, and a lot of people we know have, due to the pandemic, due to a lot of other things going on, seeing how Joe Biden is. But if you haven't changed to the right side of things now, you're stubborn, or you have your ideals that you think are important, but you're pretty doggone quiet now. Because if you open your mouth, you have to defend what you're saying, and you can't. You can't. I mean, there's nothing defensible about Joe Biden. Not a darn thing.
So what are your feelings on this? People are starting to give us some of those right now. They tried everything and they have failed. They're not going to stop Donald Trump from running for office. He's going to run.
For sure.
It's going to happen. From the chat line, deep state asses running this country. I'm just grateful that Donald Trump actually acknowledged the deep state publicly.
Yes.
And he has for a while.
A long time.
Because if you ever use that terminology, you would have been considered some psycho, crazy, nut job, far right. And now you've been vindicated.
Yes.
And this has been around for years. Oh, there's no deep state. Okay, guess what? Now even Democrats are admitting in positions of power, yeah, there's a deep state.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a society, a secret society, so to speak, and maybe not so secret, where everything is happening, where people are like, oh, really? So there are forces at play that are taking care of things.
That's right.
That are pushing these narratives forward. Robert likes to call the Friday show that we do, our Conspiracy Theory Friday, Paranormal Friday, Comedy Friday show. He likes to call it Speculation Friday.
Yeah. And that
because
is good.
He calls himself a speculator.
Yeah, that's good, because a lot of things that we speculate don't always come out the way we said they were. But if you really watch and research and understand things, they're no longer conspiracy theories. They are speculations that come true. That's
the bigger part of this, because for so long, people would, oh, there's no deep state. Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. And as part of my emotions go up and down and all around like a roller coaster regarding Bill Maher, and we'll have some information with Bill later. Even he is putting that out there.
Yeah.
Mar-a-Lago raid, think David Koresh, FBI gets out of hand and everything goes nuts.
Mhm.
Maybe, but this is the former president. And that's why I never was worried that something like that would happen there.
Yeah, well, I still am worried about it because there's things that I'm seeing in the last 5 years or so that I thought I would never see. These people are willing to murder. I shouldn't have said the M word. Unalive people in great numbers or hurt them in great numbers when they did the whole pandemic hoax. That is something that there is blood on Fauci's hands and all these other people that part of the deep state was in on that. And if you ever had, any thought that it wasn't true and you really watch what was going on, all you had to do is look at what was happening at the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization at Davos. They were literally telling you straight out what they were going to do to you. And the average person doesn't go and look at those things and don't look at these, yearly conferences in Davos.
And most people don't even believe in that stuff, even though it's there
Yeah.
for them to see. It's the mainstream media is not covering it.
Joe, we need to
They
see
don't.
you. Joe, we need to see you.
But that's right, Joe. They don't cover it. There's niche, what I call niche specialty shows like ourselves that call out the truth. We call those things out. We talk about the World Economic Forum, but go up to your friend in a bar and say, hey, you know what I heard at the World Economic Forum, or the whole world order is going on and what happened at Davos? They're going to go, huh? Klaus
Schwab
What?
is stepping down, by the way.
Of course he is.
World Economic Forum.
Uh-huh.
Appreciate that. We got that from somebody yesterday. Thank you for
Yes.
reminding us that happened yesterday.
Mhm.
Isn't the anti-carbon Green Deal all about unaliving humans?
Absolutely.
People have said that. I don't know a ton
Yes.
about it, but I've heard that. Terry, they raided his place when they packed it up and sent it to them. Came in, checked it, I think twice, then raided.
Uh-huh. That should tell you a lot right there too. I mean, it's just so out of hand what they're doing, and they're no longer
I just
hiding any of
couldn't.
it.
I couldn't be on a team that plays this way. I couldn't.
Yeah, no,
That gets me back to the Democratic side.
that's right. I couldn't be on a team that plays that way. If you can't,
You got to
play
do things
fair,
honest.
That's right.
I could not do it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it either. I couldn't do it either. People may not agree, but there is a right and a wrong. A lot of people don't understand what's right and wrong anymore because they don't have a moral compass. But there is a right and a wrong, and the left doesn't play the correct game. They don't play fair. They absolutely don't.
From the chat line, love how the left and people who hate Trump, the Trump syndrome people, say that he's going to persecute his opponents and weaponize the FBI if he's elected.
Mm-hmm.
But they're already doing that to him.
That's right.
This was the Al-Qaeda warfare manual.
Yeah.
Blame others for what you're doing. Nazism. Blame others for what you're currently doing. Try to deflect. Try to take
That's
the
right.
things off of yourself. You heard people talk about narcissist from that standpoint. It's like, wait a second. You're going to make us feel guilty because we see what you're doing right now?
Uh-huh. That is classic narcissism.
It's like, wait a second. It's like, we see you doing something. There's
Yes.
evidence of you doing something.
Uh-huh.
Yet you're going to blame us?
That's right. That's exactly what they're doing. Try to make these big stories and blame you for what they're really doing. And that started from the very beginning of Trump's regime into this. Like even back in 2015 when he was running, they blamed him for things that we all kind of had a hunch they were doing. Same thing, that's what narcissism is if you've ever had a friend or a relative that is a narcissist, you know they're doing this to you. You know that they're doing it, but they do it so subtle at first, and then all of a sudden it's full blown out there. And you're like, see, I knew it all along. I knew this is what they were doing, but they play this game. And that's really what the left is right now, is just a bunch of people that gaslight us. I mean, that's true. And I hate to use a psychology word because I think it's overused, but that is literally what the left is doing to
the gaslighting.
Deep state.
Yeah, the gaslighting. The gaslighting.
Mm-hmm. For sure. They're for sure gaslighting us. And that the only good thing about their gaslighting is once you wake up, it doesn't work anymore. And so we're seeing that this uniparty that is not just necessarily right versus left. This is people who aren't even political at all. It's about money and power. And I say this often, the whole world order, because those people literally don't like you. They want to, you're taking their resources. They really believe this, that they were born a better class
Mhm.
than you. They were born elites. They were born special. And all of us are taking the air they breathe. So they want you to abort their babies. They want you to just go away. And they know that us little peons are also exposing what they've been doing for generations. And they're like, these people are breathing our air and they're exposing us. They got to go. So we're going to put stuff in their arm. We're going to make them all sick. We're going to take their jobs away. Because if they don't take the stuff in your arm, then you can't go work there.
Well,
You
the way that I see it, this deep state really only has two options. They really do. They've got to find a way to cheat in this election somehow, some way,
Absolutely.
or they find a, and I don't think unaliving is even in the possibility. That's where I disagree with you. It's not an option. There's
Well,
no
I
way.
hope you're right. I hope you're right. I
But-
hope there isn't any.
But the second issue, which I feel you have to be very, very, very careful about, is the fact of not having an election.
Yeah, that's scary. When you think
Some
about it.
sort of an emergency.
Mhm.
Not trying to scare people, but think about this. Or something, and we've talked about this in the past on the show,
Yes,
some sort of black swan event.
that's right.
As Governor Kristi Noem talked about following Joe Biden's
That's right.
disastrous, the worst press conference from a president we had ever seen.
Well, and Zelensky in Ukraine is part of this black
And
swan
that's
event.
exactly where I was going with that,
Good.
Lizzie. And I'm
Awesome.
glad you brought it up.
Yeah, I mean they're part of doing this.
If you haven't seen right now, Vladimir Zelensky in Ukraine, guess what? He is not allowing elections. After already being there 4 or 5 years, they've stopped elections. And by the way, not all of Ukraine is for Zelensky
That's right.
because they know. They've stopped it because they said, well, we've got an ongoing war with Russia, so we're not going to hold elections.
Yeah,
You see how A connects to B, B to C?
you betcha.
This kind of thing is happening. Yeah, look it up. Zelensky is now going to stay in power because they're not going to hold elections. Those are the kind of things that make me go, oh, really?
Yeah,
What's going on with that?
that's exactly right. As Megan's saying, foreign election interference at its finest. So, I mean, and if people don't think that Zelensky and Ukraine are part of the bigger plan that involves our deep state and Joe Biden, you're crazy. It is all about that.
How do you say, what do you mean the deep state and Zelensky?
Well, look at all the money that we've been funneling over to them. There's something still about Ukraine that we don't exactly know what's going on. We can speculate, we can guess, but that was such a false flag for a long time that they wanted us to feel sorry for Ukraine because Russia is such a big, bad place. This has been connecting since 2014-15 when they were trying to set up Donald Trump with Russia, 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 Russia. They are purposely trying to make Russia this big, bad place. Now, I'm not saying that, Vladimir is our friend, but he doesn't really give a flying flip about us.
I was hoping you were going to say a flying.
Yeah, that's why
I was hoping
flip,
you were going to say it.
Flip. Yeah, I didn't say it. But, my granddaughter sometimes watches the show and you can't see your grandma say the F word. But.
Yeah, you could.
I guess you could.
That's awesome.
But. So, I mean, it was like, and so this has all been part of their plan. Literally, Putin does not care about us. He really is similar to Donald Trump, not in the evilness. That's what I'm saying. He's just like, make America great again. He's like, make Russia great again. He's a nationalist. And people just want to make him this big, bad guy. He just wants to make Russia his priority. Now, is he a good guy there? No, I'm not saying he's good. But he just wants everybody to leave him alone, too, until you attack him.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And then he's going to go after you.
From the chat line, Mitch says, I've seen pictures of some very expensive and expensively decorated and protected cars that Zelensky owns.
Of course.
Well, yeah, but even
course.
but once again with Zelensky, not to turn it into Ukraine situation, but even the Klitschko brothers, the super popular brothers out of Ukraine, professional boxers, heavyweights, world champions, who were all about Zelensky at the start of the war.
That's right.
They've in turn, they're like, oh shit. They know, they see what's going on behind the scenes. Ukrainians know. And if you meet Ukrainians, who I have, and I have friends from Ukraine who are United States citizens now, none of them like Zelensky. Not one of them. We had some nut job that came in here one day talking about Zelensky and Ukraine, and I still think he was a paid informant.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to be mean, because if people are listening that set it up for us, I still can't believe what this guy was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, Zelensky's great. Oh, Ukraine's great.
Stop it with that.
And they're never going to win a war. They're just not. They're not going to win the war.
Well, I don't know why people didn't see that from the beginning, because the same people that put Ukraine flags up were the same people that had Black Lives Matter flags in their yard. It was like, stop it, people. This is all a game they're playing on you.
Paul says he's the Joe Biden of Ukraine. F. Zelensky from Greg.
That's
Ukraine has the goods on American government and their illegal activities shipped overseas. That's why they're pushing all this funding over there.
That's right.
They've lost a few $100 million that is not accounted for. And that's what we said. There's no checks and balances. And by the way, last week we sent another $400 million all the way over.
Yeah.
Thanks, Glenn. He's telling me he agrees that the whack job that we brought into studio one day from Ukraine. I mean, that guy was. Oh.
He was, but I was glad that you had him in here, because as he was talking.
Everybody's point is welcome.
Yes.
But my God.
Oh, he was so crazy. But I was glad that you put him in here, because that guy that was here, and I know I'm going off a tangent with him, but he was a guy, and this is part of the problem with our society, is he was part of the Baptist church, and he couldn't have been more woke and full of crap. So I was like, yeah, you know what? They've infiltrated the Baptist church right there.
Yeah, they have.
Mm-hmm.
This is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe Now. It's here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, and all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. Listen, I'm not going overboard when it comes to the use of deadly force. If anything, it helps Donald Trump, because it's another.
Yeah. I agree with that.
As long, and they knew it would come out. They did.
Mm-hmm.
As long as Republicans, conservatives, Trump supporters, Trump lovers don't go insane with it, I think, but don't let them forget about it, but don't go insane. Don't go over the line. It is interesting for those watching our broadcast. We have cameras that are shooting all over the place. So we're giving you another view of the studio.
That's right.
And we appreciate it. If
we've lost all control of this stuff. I think we've been hacked.
No, we have not. I love, Joe. You always go to, we've been hacked. I love it.
Hi there. Yeah.
I'm
telling, I wasn't telling.
And I'm not being disrespectful to you. I love you, Joe, because you're always like, somebody hacked us.
Yeah, but see, here's an extreme. You always think nobody does anything to us.
Well,
Joe and I do know that we saw it. We saw people do stuff to us, and Vic's like, oh no,
I'm trying to be positive.
Well, you can be positive and still be like, oh yeah,
I'm positively sure that somebody's effing with us.
Yeah, I'm positively sure somebody has been effing with us.
How can
every day?
How can people jump in the system, Joe?
I mean, if they have some sort,
so you don't even have use of your own camera either?
Well, I have limited use.
Uh-huh.
Well, I
love it. This is Cancel This. We fight that battle every day.
We do. It's
so what happened is our cameras just started moving all around.
They were. That happens. And I'm with Joe on this, because we have had people that has done stuff to the show, and it's funny.
Yes, that has happened.
And it's funny because
for the spirit world,
we're like Donald Trump. That the fact that you can keep doing stuff to us and keep doing stuff to us and we're still going to be fine. We're going to be fine.
So maybe maybe people are whacking in, and maybe I need to listen to Joe.
Yeah, we're like AT&T. We're like, we're like people just come into our stuff. And
Glenn has something for you, Joe. He says poltergeist.
Yeah, it's poltergeist.
Are we in the spirit world?
Yeah, see that? Look at that.
It's fighting against me.
Yeah, it is so weird what's going on in here, you guys. It is so weird.
But the good thing is,
look at that.
There's a monitor. We're giving
everybody.
We're giving everybody a shot here.
You know what it is? Yeah, you know what it is.
Hey, Joe, guess what?
There's gremlins.
We do, man. We can. That is our monitor over on the side.
That's right.
We're giving everybody a shot of the studio.
So we're going to change a camera right now, because there is a camera truly that is compromised in here.
Hey,
there really is. And you know what it is? If it's not that we're hacked, we definitely have the gremlins and poltergeist in here. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Derek, good to hear from you, our friend. He says, I'm sitting here driving while remote controlling all of your cameras just to mess with you.
Okay, see, I knew it was Derek. I was going to mention that it was Derek who did it.
What's the Casey sabotage?
Oh
What
my
is
gosh,
it?
look at this. Is
Hey, Joe, we got
hysterical.
another shot.
There's my chair.
Yeah. See,
All
okay,
right.
okay, so now you're seeing Joe's chair.
Well, everybody's getting a view, and this is cool because
This is kind of cool.
we're giving you behind the scenes shots of the cancel this.
Is getting what they want because we're not talking about the stuff that we're supposed
Oh
to
no, Joe, we're having fun.
I'm having fun. This is great.
That's Joe's spot. We have a beautiful studio here. By the way, we do corporate videos for people. Contact us. We do podcast marketing for businesses. And
Yeah.
a lot of that's done from that spot right there. That's Joe's setup. I've been begging for Joe to put himself on camera and he wouldn't.
there
And
he
now
is.
we've got
Hi, Joe.
And by the way, Joe, this shot is better than the shot that
I
you
love
normally
this
have.
shot, actually. This is a great
You've
shot.
been giving us a shot from the platform.
This is a great shot.
And I love sleeve tattoos, as I've told you, but I think I like this better than your sleeve.
Well, and he really in this picture too looks like Assange there because you said Megan said
he
that.
is. No, he did.
Yeah, this is great
Megan
stuff.
called it, and he agreed.
Mhm.
Yeah, yo, Joe, what's in the house?
And
Okay.
see, and there's another. See, they're getting to see all the rooms we have in here.
That was our green wall.
Yeah.
And we
Another
utilize
studio over there.
that for podcast shows. That green wall, you superimpose whatever image you want to behind that.
Okay.
So now Joe, this has worked out perfectly for us.
I love this.
As I've learned in life,
Uh-huh.
you turn the lemon and you turn it into lemonade.
Uh-huh.
You make something good about it. I said it a couple of weeks ago.
I love all this kind of stuff.
Everything's about perspective.
Okay, so listen to this. Chris Steiner says, I'm telling you, same thing happened to Tim Pool last night on his stream because they had the same subject in their title for last night's show. It's 100% possible that you're being hacked.
Okay, well, I
Uh-huh.
apologize to Joe. Maybe somebody's hacking us.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
I just always figure it's us because of just our low rent budget.
Your faith in me.
No, it's not you we're thinking
No,
about.
don't you dare do that.
It's Vic and I.
Don't be sensitive,
That's right. It's Vic and I that mess all this stuff up. Well, I shouldn't even say you, Vic. It's me.
Joe.
So if there's
And I
human error, it's me.
blame our funding. That's what
blame
I
our funding.
Yes, that is a major one.
Yeah, our funding.
Hey, it's like,
That's right.
hey, somehow, some way we make it go every day, and we have a massive following, and we're grateful for it. Not only throughout the St. Louis and Missouri area, but across the country, and even some international listeners. I just always figure it's us. It's like, okay,
Yeah. Well, I love.
what do we
couple
pay for that? We
comments.
got that $15 at a garage sale. Okay,
That's
we're getting
right.
some use out of it.
And Glenn says that it's probably a good thing that we didn't show the lib torture chamber. So I'm glad they didn't show that for sure.
But Joe, let us know when you get control of the cameras again. But I do find it interesting that
We're good.
the
We're
same
good
stuff
now.
happened with Tim Pool
Yeah.
last night.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have power to give shots of all those cameras that we just did?
I can do the green screen,
Can you pop the green screen back up
Yeah,
again?
that's
and
great.
then I can actually show what it looks like.
I wanted to
with-
explain. We'll give shots of what everything looks like.
Yeah, because there's a lot of great things in the studio.
and then
for
we'll
sure.
get back to the serious talk.
All right,
Sometimes
so
you just got to go with the flow.
That's right.
Here's the green screen,
Here it
All right.
is.
All right.
and
So,
then here,
and that green screen, for people who know, our little angry elf liberal who does his show in the afternoon from 4 to 5, Dr. Mark Kaysen.
That's where he is.
That's what Joe, no, that green screen,
Mm-hmm.
go back to the green screen, Joe. Joe turns that green screen into this for our viewers.
That's so cool.
Isn't that amazing?
I love it. I
I
love
also
it.
do this, and
And that's the Football 360 show that we shoot as well. And Joe's showing you what he can do from that standpoint.
Yeah.
then we've got that.
And that's
And that's our swimming pool
Our
out
brick
back.
wall.
And that's our brick wall. We have a swimming pool out back and a brick wall. I love the swimming pool.
yeah. And so, hey, you know what? You just kind of go with the flow on
That's
all
right.
these things. We love it. And when, oh, I see the camera spinning around again. Is it all good? There
Yep.
we go.
Yeah.
All right. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, all the time on our website, canceltheshow.com. Thank you guys for liking, subscribing, sharing the show, letting people know what's going on. No, it's when you guys speak the truth when videos are guessed or the camera goes bad.
Yeah.
Jeannie says, where is the beach?
It's out back too. We've got a beach,
Glenn
too.
loves my comment, the angry elf liberal.
That's right.
And that's what he is. And Alex from the marketing team says people should keep their segment in mind when things look a little off at the Biden White House.
That's
What does he
exactly
mean by
right.
that?
Well, I agree with Alex. There's so many things that's going on at the White House that isn't real. Like we just showed you that there's a green screen that we can turn into something else. They do those things at the White House. We're not really lying to anybody. We tell the truth, but they a lot of times let you believe there's somewhere else and they're really just in front of a green screen.
Oh yeah. And we can make that happen pretty easily.
Yeah.
The green screen. Derek says, by the way, guys, I have an idea for every segment once in a while. I was a huge fan of Whose Line Is It Anyway? One of the most creative shows. And those people, those comedians, really so damn smart. I love them. So witty. One of their sketches was someone stood in front of a green screen and had to guess what was going on behind them from the clues given to them.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Members. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I like that, Derek. Maybe we could do that.
Yeah.
So, Joe, are we back in control of everything?
We are back in control, and that's actually something we can do, that whole green screen idea.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a good one.
That would be a good one. Derek, when you come in, you can do that.
Donald Trump, we got to, we're in a fun thing right now. Can we show the, and I don't know if you've seen this yet, but wait a minute. You put me back in Mexico. Oh, can you put me back in Mexico?
Oh yeah, you could probably put Peter back in Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Joe, at some point, we'll put you back up. We'll put a back screen.
Yeah, we'll be in Mexico here soon.
I just feel like we've gone off the rails and had some fun with it. Yeah. I love this video. I hadn't seen it. Other people may have seen it, but this parody song, I love Journey, and there's nothing like. How about Donald Trump singing Journey?
Don't Stop Believing.
Here you go. This is pretty damn funny.
This is great.
Just a small-town girl. And where was she? But living in a lonely world? Why? She took a midnight train, and I'm telling you, when I say it was going anywhere, we won't know. On the other hand, just a city boy. Was it New York? No, it wasn't. This boy was born and raised in South Detroit. And again, he also was on that train, a midnight train going anywhere. And I'm telling you now, don't stop believing, don't ever stop. Hold on to that feeling. Streetlights, people, all the people, oh, whoa. I say, whoa.
Don't stop believing.
That's great. I love that.
Hey, that's by the way, I spent 11 years of my life in Detroit. One of my children was born there. I love Michigan. I love the Detroit area. And by the way, do you know, for the first time in 66 years, I'm telling you, there is hope if you do things the right way. For the first time in 66 years, the actual city of Detroit gained population.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
66 years?
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Wow. I like it.
For the first time. Could you imagine if a stat like that ever came up in St. Louis?
That would be.
And I've been telling people for years, Detroit, while it's not perfect, has things going on.
Yeah,
they got their act together. They spent the money, and guess what? They attacked crime. Oh, they had business leaders who actually bulldozed all the buildings. They didn't have all the racist crap and all the racist bullshit going on.
Yeah.
And they moved it forward. Think about this. In the year 2024, they actually had population increase in the city of Detroit.
I love that.
Robert says it's Detroit pride. And what made me think about that is the fact that, by the way, there's no such, that beautiful song, Don't Stop Believing, Believing, was written by Steve Perry while he was in Detroit. And there's no such thing as a South Detroit, but it sounded better than West Detroit or East Detroit.
That's funny.
Detroit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
born and raised in South Detroit.
I love that.
Love it. Sorry, I've gone off the train. This is Susan says this is excellent news. Good for Detroit.
I love that too.
And when you have a son that's born there,
it's always going to be special to you.
Yeah, and we love the Lions, and it is. We'll see. I'm taking Megan and I are going to get there this summer.
Good.
So I'm finally taking somebody.
Has Megan ever been there?
No.
Oh, you guys should do it for sure.
No.
That'll be great.
Robert says, by the way, Detroit bankruptcy over 10 years ago was the best thing to have ever happened. They got things serious. Of course, as I've talked about, they've got all 4 sports teams that chose to be downtown within within just a couple block area of each other. Biden as VP saved Detroit from COVID.
Yeah, that's good.
Referring to the comment yesterday, when I was vice president,
Uh-huh.
Barack had me go to Detroit to save him from COVID. He literally said it, people.
I couldn't
But
believe
Democrats don't want you to know that because it's all about hating Trump
that.
instead.
Mhm.
Who doesn't love Journey? Doesn't everybody love that song?
I've never heard anybody that doesn't
song.
like Journey.
You
Yeah.
hear that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. It might not be their favorite group, but I've never heard anybody go, oh God, I hate them.
Paul says, I vacationed in the UP in Michigan 2 years ago. It was absolutely amazing. I'm not kidding you. For everything that goes into it, as long as the weather is hot, I would much rather go and spend time in northern Michigan, up in Traverse City and Sleeping Bear Dunes, and be out in the water than go to the Caribbean. And for all things considered, I am not kidding. It is that cool up there.
And I've not ever been all the way up there because I'm the one that flies to the Caribbean.
Beautiful,
so I should just go there.
Well, yeah, Lake Michigan, you go out and you look down and it's clear water.
Yeah,
you can
that's
see all the
great.
way. Now it can be cold as F.
Right. But that's all right. That's all right.
But it's beautiful. Karen says, yes, I love Journey. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Okay. Where were we? Okay. Mackinac Island. Yes, I flew. Mackinac Island's another terrific place. An old pastor friend of mine was a pilot, and he flew myself and my ex-wife, and we flew into Mackinac Island, landed, and it was absolutely gorgeous.
How
you can't
fun.
drive there. Really, you have to
fly in there.
So anyway, I had to cross the Mackinac Bridge. Yeah, saw them in concert 5. Oh, we just went all off track.
We did, but that was fun. I mean, they did their purpose. If this really was some hacker, not saying it was, but they got us off of what they didn't want us to talk about. If it was the same thing as Tim Pool, if the same exact thing, and we had the same ticker line, apparently.
But remember, when things happen, it's not just us. It happens
to everybody.
To the Rogan show.
Yes.
It happens to the Megyn Kelly show.
Yes.
It happens to, and by the way, I love Megyn Kelly. I do. I've always said that. I love her podcast and I love her style. We all have our likes and our dislikes. And then Tim Pool, it happens to him. And guess what? Their show, they've been around for several years.
Yes.
Several years. We're the new kids on the block. So it happens to us, but it happens to the people that have been around for a long time.
That's
and
right.
if you think the technology's not out there, if you don't believe in the technology,
I'm just not educated on it.
Well, what I'm trying to say is
it can happen.
Lizzie should know
Yeah.
because of some recent things that happened to her with her phone. That
What?
It's complete.
I can't go into it right
Can't
now.
go
Oh,
into
shit, Lizzie. Come on.
I can't go into it. I really cannot go into
Yeah,
it right now.
it's
I can't.
talk to you after the show.
I told you.
However, there's definitely technology out there, and if they can do it to her, which they have recently, they're going to do it.
And
to
I will talk about it on the show, but at this point I can't. But things happen with the phone that people found out information and
wait a minute, they got into your phone?
Yeah, but I can't say anymore. I cannot, but it will come out after my attorney flushes this all out.
Crap.
Yeah.
So are you saying somebody could get into my phone without
somebody can
me
knowing?
Into
anyone? You have
without you even knowing.
But wait a second. But if a phone, okay, we've got lots of politics to talk about. We will, but on this show, and it's so great because we are organic.
Yeah.
Somebody can get into our phone
at any time. At any time.
So you could go get into my phone or Joe's phone.
Well,
if you had the
if you have the technology, like
without even being on your getting into somebody's phone.
That is why
from anywhere in the world.
So how could that be used to get into our information here?
Because we have all the technology. We have all the same technology as the phone, and ours is even a heightened amount of technology. And so that's why the number one business we're telling our youngest daughter right now to get a degree in cybersecurity. My husband has a degree in national security. He may even go back and get something in cybersecurity because that is almost the number one paying job right now, because the way to take down a company, the way to take down a person, the way to take down a politician, the way to take down somebody is hacking your devices, changing even some of the things that's in there to look like you did something that you didn't. So people like, I'm just going to say Walmart, Amazon, Wall Street. There's so many other people. They pay millions of dollars, not hundreds. They pay millions of dollars to cybersecurity companies to keep you safe, because you're not safe. You're not safe. And I absolutely know that for sure, because it's now happened to me. So people can get into anything you have. So if you think for a minute, I'm not going to get an Alexa because they're doing it. It's your phone. Your phone, more than anything, is where they're getting your information. So the only way you could completely go off the grid completely is you don't have one electronic device. Your rotary phone now is not even safe.
So you said you're going to share more once you know. How did you know that something had happened to your phone in the first place?
'Cause I
Did
can't-
somebody
I-
contact you?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I may be dumb, but I'm not stupid. I will always get to the party.
Yeah.
I may be a little late,
Yeah.
but I will get there.
Yeah. But I was informed.
I'm at the
that
party.
happened.
Okay, I'm at the party now.
Yes, you're at the party.
Okay.
And so due to there's other people involved, I'm not going to bring it up, but I will at some point when I'm cleared to do that. And-
Damn, Lizzie, I am so sorry.
yeah. And it's not because I'm concerned
No,
about
this is a
any
huge
of this.
deal.
And concerned about this is that I want to protect the people that now are also involved. And it's nothing big. Honestly, it's nothing big. That if I told you what was going, it's nothing. It's honestly an absolute nothing burger, a nothing burger. But the bigger story is they can do this to you. That's the thing. It's a nothing burger. Nothing is going to happen to anyone.
And they won't stop.
Yeah, nothing. And it's not because I'm even somebody that's out there, out in cyber world, because I now am on the air or on the, streaming. This can happen to anyone. If someone does not like you, or if someone wants to do something to you, they can. Now, is anything going to happen with this? No. But
So all they need is your phone number, maybe? The reason I asked this is I was telling Megan about this. I get text messages all the time from weird numbers.
Don't pick them up.
No, I'm not even that.
Don't
They'll
pick 'em
say
up.
that they'll like, hey, what are you doing? Or hey, I heard you moved recently. It's like they know.
Yeah,
like,
they know.
Like,
know.
I heard you moved
Yes.
recently.
Yeah.
That's all they need is your phone.
That's all they need is your
And
phone
I'm
number.
like, and it's like, let's get together today after, and it's like all this weird stuff.
That's right.
And
So-
because I was like, I need proof of this, or I even sent
Yeah.
them to her. Like, look at this. Look at these
and that
numbers.
can happen all the time. And I'm sure, and Vic, of all people, it's going to happen to you because you have such a big name.
But I put my number out for everybody.
And
for a
I do
long
too.
time.
And that's not going to stop me from doing that. That's not going to stop me from anybody contacting. This is going to stop me, not at all. But it is very interesting. And part of this is that if you on your phone and if your telephone rings and it says potential spam, or if people email you and ask you for some information, if you absolutely do not know that person personally, do not accept that phone call. Do not do that.
Alex
so-
from the marketing team says Tucker Carlson, of
Yes.
course, talks about how deathly scared legislators and others
Correct.
are making enemies with deep state because they don't want certain types of illegal images
Yes,
showing up on their phones.
that's exactly
Well, I'm
right.
sorry to hear that.
Well,
you're
people
having to
will
deal
do
with
that.
this.
And that didn't happen to me, but people will put illegal images on, you know how you open up, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, you open up an email and you don't know what it's on it. And it could be an inappropriate woman or whatever. Make sure you're not messing with that if you're in the limelight, because if you do, that person that hacked your phone can see, that Pro Joe looks at porn over there at Cancel This or whatever. Boom. They're doing it to my daughter's high school had porn show up on their stuff. So you have to be very careful with what's going on. I mean, people can put anything on your stuff. So just don't get alarmed if
This sounds like a Friday show on a Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to go there, but
Yeah, I know. So
Well,
we just gotta.
Friday stuff happened on a Wednesday.
yeah, Friday stuff happened on a Wednesday. But don't be, I'm not as afraid of it anymore, where people would say, oh my gosh, did you know something happened? It's happening all over the place. It's happening to any of you with a phone.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
And Susan's saying don't say anything. Your voice is activation. Meaning, I'm assuming she said, if you ever use voice activation, they can AI you.
Beware of
If you've ever
airdrops as
talked
well.
to text. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
airdrops, talk to text. If you're driving in your car and you talk, beware of everything you've said is in your car and you can't get rid of it. So if I say, Joe, I hate that Vic Faust on my voice to text, it's always in your car now. It's all like, so if you commit a
It's
crime,
stored in what they call the cache.
that's right. So if you commit a crime, then they can just take your car. Now, I don't know if it's these older cars, but probably anything from about maybe 2016, 17 on. There's a computer chip that if you've ever talked voice to text in your car, it's never gone.
Damn, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I knew about the airdrops. I've been places, and I think I might have said it before.
Yeah, be careful with the airdrops.
But I had people send me airdrop pictures of me.
Yeah. that weren't really you?
No, they were me, like somebody taking pictures of me
Uh-huh.
and sending me the airdrops
Yeah.
of them. And I'm like, what the hell? And then, of course,
Yeah.
they want to see me look up and try to,
Yeah.
and you don't know who the hell's doing it in
That's
crowded
right.
places. I'm like, okay, that, ha, 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 really funny.
They will. And they think it's funny. And if it's your friend, it's fine. It really is fine. But just be aware that that stuff happens. But also, most of this is just bullshit. So don't get upset about it if somebody does this to you. Because if you've got a phone, you've got a computer with a camera on it, you're already on there and have been for 15 years.
And like Megan says, keep your cameras covered when you're not using them.
Yes.
No, I've heard that.
Yeah. Like right there.
There's even people in the FBI that if you like, I saw an interview with somebody in the FBI, and in the background was their laptop with a piece of tape over the camera.
Yeah. At home, we have pieces of tape.
From the
Here,
chat line, Lizzie, does this apply to when you're taking calls through your vehicle?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I think so. I literally anything that has a computer chip in it, it's in a satellite dish somewhere.
Well,
they can get anything.
When you take a call in your vehicle, it goes through your phone.
Yeah, that's right. So I would imagine anything that you do. But the good side of this is literally if you want to make a lot of money or you tell your kids to make a lot of money, have them to get an actual degree in cybersecurity. There is so much money because people are getting hacked every day. Look at
the school. It is the growing industry.
It is. Look at, I mean, we heard that guy on we probably should have him again. The guy that was here that was talking about there's big money in cyber hacking that then you have to pay a ransom to get your information back.
Alex says, guys, by the way, Mark Zuckerberg has been seen with covers on his laptop camera.
Yeah.
That should tell you
everything. So, I mean, people, you are nowhere unless, I don't even know where you would be safe anymore from this. Because if you've ever had one of these devices, that information is on there. I guess the only way you could be is if you don't have a telephone, you don't have a smart TV in your house, you don't drive a newer car, you'd have to have a car that's very old with no computer chip in it. Other than that, they already got you. And I don't know who they is.
Right. Have you noticed that all the laptops in the studio here have little sleeves that go over the camera where you don't have to put a piece of tape? You can just close the little shutter.
Really?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see that.
Yeah. They actually come
nice.
with that now.
Yeah. Most of them do. So, I mean, it's just, so if you're going to do something that you don't want somebody to ever know, make sure there's no cameras anywhere, but they're all over your house and you don't even know. They're all over your house. So, but
yeah, if you have a Ring doorbell, if you have any cameras, if you have an Alexa that says someone detected at your front door, all that information is being stored and somebody can have access to any of it.
Yeah, I have a neighbor that they just put cameras on their swimming pool, a former neighbor, and she had no idea that people could hack into her system and watch her kids out by the pool. So, and you think you think that you're being safe. You think that by having all those cameras, it saves you from a robber that's going to come and rob you. But really what you're doing is you're exposing. So if you have a camera internally in your house, my recommendation was to get that thing out of there. Now, I'm not saying to not have it on the outside of your house for criminals or out by your pool or whatever. But if you have a camera in your house, and we did for a while, not even thinking about this was years ago when we were trying to make sure that our children, when we weren't home, they were fine, that we could watch them from work, and that they were okay. But we don't have that in there anymore. Yep.
From the chat line, I've heard putting your servers in the bathroom stops Chinese hackers.
I think he's kidding, but
I think so. Because
I hope he's kidding.
You don't want those cameras in your potty.
I was looking at that. I'm like,
I think that's got to be a joke. Don't put your cameras in your potty.
Yeah. It's hard to tell when it comes to.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
By the way, this is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house. We appreciate our advertisers, our sponsors, the people that make this go. Always looking for more, always looking to improve our brand from that standpoint. Complete auto body repair, 5 locations throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. Anything with your vehicle from A to Z. Curtis and crew are expanding. They're expanding because they're good at what they do, into the towing industry, into selling cars at JNBZ. You see them on Facebook as well. They will help you. They will take care of you. Let them know if you use them that you heard about them from Cancel This, because that helps us back here. When you let them know, they know that, hey, we're getting good use of our money here. We're going to continue to promote that Cancel This show. Once again, cancel the show advertising with Complete Auto Body Repair. We love it. 314-731-7999. 314-731-7999. You can also find them at CompleteAB.com. Once again, that is CompleteAB.com. Also, David Gregory, attorney with the St. Louis Injury Council. They are the best when it comes to, if you've had an accident, when it comes to your car, if you've been in an accident, if you've been hit or had a serious incident with a tractor trailer of some sort, personal injury, anything with a conservative issue, any bodily harm, give Dave and his team a call, 314-619-4230. You'll actually talk to Dave. How do I know? Because I worked with Dave and he helped me when I was hit. And I could not believe what he did. And then I got a call about 9 months later and said, you know what? I was looking through your case and found another area where we can get you more money because of law that is in the book that most attorneys don't even realize or know about. Why does Dave know? Because he was a state rep. He's running for state senate. And, oh yeah, by the way, he's an accountant as well. He wrote some of the law in the books in the state of Missouri. Before you sign with anybody, it doesn't hurt. You got to give him a call or check out GregoryForMissouri.com. GregoryForMissouri.com. And also, again, the phone number to reach out to Dave is 314-619-4230, 314-619-4230. We appreciate the support from WeQuip USA. Check them out. Check out the rentals that they have. WeQuipUSA.com. You can buy or you can actually rent products on their site. You can also take your own products, place them on the site, and other people can rent them. It's all backed by insurance. They sell spaces, they promote businesses, and also on top of everything, they put you in touch with people in your own neighborhood.
Yeah.
A lot of great
Really
things
cool.
going on there. And of course, always grateful for our support at Wenty's. Wenty's in the Chesterfield Valley. Of course, we talk about some of the best service, best time, best patio, some of the best burgers, wings, smoked meat you're going to find. And then now they also have their spot when it comes to Wenty's Roadhouse out in Wine Country in Defiance. They opened, excuse me, last weekend. Huge crowds. Congratulations for making that investment there, buying that from the Hoffmans and now putting it under local ownership. And you basically got Wenty's too in a bigger venue, a bigger outdoor patio.
That's so cool.
Right in the middle of Wine Country, and just fantastic spot. So we appreciate all of their support. CancelTheShow.com here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. I'm Vic. She's Lizzie. Joe's in the house as well. We talked a lot in the first hour about the DOJ allowing the use of deadly force if necessary when they did what was essentially an illegal raid, and it's going to amount to nothing, and Democrats are going to have to deal with that crap. Keep your scorecard, as Lizzie and I talk about, when it comes to everything that has happened there. But when it comes to Joe Biden, more mumbo jumbo, crazy, wacky, tobacco stuff going on yesterday. I mean, listen, I can't even understand what he was saying the other day. I mean, this does not make any sense. Well, we might listen to it a few times just to figure out what the hell he's doing. Of course,
what the hell he's saying.
Mainstream national media, local media, they won't show you just how messed up the guy is, but we continue to show you pretty much on a daily or every other day basis.
Let me close with this. After I signed the PAC Act into law, let me close with this. After I signed the PAC Act into law, let me close with this. After I signed the PAC Act into law, let me close with this. After I signed the PAC Act into law, let me close with this.
Billy Joel.
After I signed the PAC Act into
That's
law,
exactly what I thought you were going to
close with this.
I got to hear it again.
After I signed the PAC Act into law, let me close with this.
hear that.
After I signed the PAC Act into law.
Yeah, it's
Let me close.
I'm sure. Well, they do say that you're in dementia. You go back in time, and he's probably singing the Pack-a-Lack-a-Lack song. Oh my gosh.
What is going on?
Cadillac.
Yeah, that's right. Cadillac.
I can't unhear that now.
That's right.
Thanks, Joe.
Uh-huh.
No
problem.
What the truck is he doing? Can I hear it one more time, Joe?
Sure.
Pack-a-lack. I'm
Yeah.
Joe Biden.
After I signed the PAC Act, after I signed the PAC Act, I signed the PAC Act into law.
Oh my God.
Let me close with this. After I signed the PAC Act into law.
Cadillac law. Kevin's saying
The
Cadillac
Cadillac
law.
law.
Yeah, the Cadillac. Well, you know what? If you have a Cadillac now, they're the deep state is watching you. I guess that's what he was saying. I mean, what in the world was he saying?
The Billy Joel thing is freaking funny.
Yeah, that is
Donna
really
says
funny.
Billy Joel, haha. Megan says Makalaka, hi,
Makalaka, heiny ho, heiny ho.
Mekaleka Heiny Ho, Mekaleka China.
What is that from?
Put that to music.
Oh my
What
God.
is that from?
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Oh my gosh. Well, he is a little bit like a Pee-wee Playhouse. I mean, he
Mekaleka
is.
High, Meka Heiny Ho.
Mm-hmm.
We should put that to a rap or music of some sort.
Yeah,
Joe,
little heiny ho.
in your spare time.
That's right.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
Megan
my
said
gosh.
I got
yes.
so much of that.
That is so
Yep,
funny.
of course, Ben. It's like Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
Squeeze your cheeks together, Joey.
Oh,
All right, but that's not it. Joe Biden is the gift that keeps on giving all
he
the
sure
time.
does.
Sometimes it pisses me off, but sometimes it's funny. This next one is just scary because he leans forward and he starts whispering when it gets
Oh.
really creepy. Listen to this other one that he gave on the campaign trail yesterday. What the frick? Yeah, Megan's giving you credit for knowing the Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah,
stuff.
that's great.
And Ben, here's.
Love it.
And is there any way to increase the size of this too? You're always pretty good.
Yeah, we got to see this one.
Okay.
There we go.
Here's Joe. Listen to what he had to say here. This is creepy, scary stuff.
I say to every young man thinking of getting married, marrying a family of 5 or more daughters. I did. My wife's the oldest of 5 sisters. You know why? One of them will always love you. Not the same one. One of them will always love you. That's the biggest advantage of marrying into 5 daughters.
You know what? That is really creepy. I have 4.
I can't
I've got
even
5 kids
I
and I've
can't
got
laugh.
4 daughters.
I can't even laugh
I'm not
about
laughing
that.
because I have 5 kids. 4 of them are girls. And if any one of my son-in-laws said something like that, I would be like, back up the truck, dude.
One of them will always love you.
Yeah. And now if you're looking at it in a not creepy way, if you look at it in a not creepy
How can
way,
you not see that?
well, you do see, you only go creepy when it's Joe Biden. A normal person would say, you know what, in a family of, with 5 girls, there's probably somebody that's mad at you today. So there's going to be somebody that's going to still hang out with you. But that's not what he said. That's not what he said. Because he's such a hair sniffer and what his daughter Ashley said about taking showers with him when you're 14, that is creepy. Wouldn't you like to interview one of those 5 daughters besides his wife, so 4, and say, what do you think about him really? Like, what do you really think about Sleepy Joe and his hair sniffing and taking a shower with his 14-year-old daughter?
It's the pedophile in him.
It really is.
He is letting you know.
Yes.
Sounds to me like someone had the reverb or echo up too high on his earpiece.
Right? Yeah, it sure did.
He's an ass. He's either yelling at us or creepy whispers. Yeah. I'll sniff your daughter.
I'm laughing because you sound just like him, but there's nothing funny
Dementia,
about this.
old men are over horny. He's a pedo, the pedo credo. If he said 5 siblings, maybe, but he didn't say siblings. He said 5 daughters.
Yeah, he said daughters. That I agree with her. It wasn't like, hey, one of my sister-in-laws. He said daughters.
And this is the same guy. It's already been proven was taking naked showers with at the very least, a preteen Ashley Biden, as she has admitted in her diaries.
Yeah.
And then you saw his son, Hunter. We all know what a crackhead whore he is.
Yeah.
And just think about it. He went and did all this stuff with his brother's wife.
He has no, he has no bro code.
The apple is not falling far from the tree.
That's right.
Did you hear how deep his voice got when he said, "There'll always be one that'll love you"?
Yeah. The inflection.
There'll always be one that loves you.
Oh wow.
Yes, Jill was a babysitter.
Yeah,
at one point in
Jill
time.
was the babysitter with the other wife.
Yeah, but a lot of time, they had power and they had money.
Yeah.
And a lot of time, young women will take money. They'll choose money because and then they're like, wait a second, the grass wasn't greener.
That's right.
Yeah, I got all these things I thought, and then you're stuck with these kinds of guys.
Right.
Ugh,
and that's the gross part, because you're right. There'll be young women that don't totally understand the whole picture of life and might want to go for the power and the money or whatever. that's why you got to be really careful when you go after these men with all this power. And I'm not being a feminist here. I'm not saying that. But when you're 19, you maybe don't know what you're getting yourself into if, say, you're even 30. So, but I'm not going to defend Joe Biden here, though. I'm not. She is, you talk about not falling far from the fruit nut tree. She is really a bad lady.
From the chat line, the biggest junkie is Trump. We had to pay 157 times the price for brand name because that Nazi is too good for generic. I don't know what that is about, but feel free to give us more info on that.
Yeah, well, I think it's if you see her saying it.
She didn't babysit very well, talking about
she didn't babysit
Joe Biden.
well. That's right.
Or maybe she babysat very well.
Right.
Maybe she was taking care of him and she still is today, or at least putting him out there for that kind of chat.
That's right.
It is scary, though, when you think about all the crap that we're constantly seeing from Joe Biden day after day. Fox even reported from the chat line that in his last speech, the White House had to make 9 corrections.
That's right.
9 corrections during a speech, because once again, it's not about truth anymore. It's about whatever's on his mind at the time.
Yeah.
It's Alex says Tanya Nip is hitting the pipe with Hunter. Maybe. Dirk's driving by waving. We appreciate that as well. I just, once again, you're not going to see the mainstream media. You're not going to see local media. You're not going to hear a lot of radio people talk about and show all of the clips of Joe Biden screwing up on a daily basis. But people, that don't think for a second that everybody around the world is not looking at this. And that's why when the cat's away, a leader, the mice will play the rest of the world, which is why we now have 2 wars going on when we had nothing with Donald Trump. And this country has just been absolutely abused. Absolutely abused.
That's a great word to say, abused. We've been abused.
From the chat line, Chris says, flipping through channels last night and caught a snippet of Jimmy Fallon's monologue, and he was trying to joke that Donald Trump Jr. was the druggie instead of Hunter.
Well,
but keep in mind who Jimmy Fallon is.
Yeah.
The dude is an evil man.
Yeah.
He's been called out by employees. He's been called out.
That's right.
There's nothing good about Jimmy Fallon.
Nothing.
Is he talented?
Nothing.
Yeah. But guess what?
And
the
he
guy
can
is
be funny.
But he is a jackass, and he's evil, and he is a guy who spreads lies, and he's tried to make his show political, and he's not truthful. Right. Which is why you can say, it's like, okay, and he could go make fun of you, and okay, great. And ha 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 ha, I'm funny, laugh at me. Yeah. But if you go beneath the surface and take the time, you'll see what's there. It's nothing. Right. There's nothing.
Right. And you know, you can't even compare Don Jr. And he's not even one of my favorite of the Trump
kids. That's evil for him to even go there.
I mean, Don Jr. next to Hunter,
especially
you can't even compare.
Yeah. No, you can't.
Give me a break with that. And I have heard Donald Trump say pretty much the only child that he's had that even gave him any trouble when they were like in high school was, I think, Don Jr. But we're talking about not a big deal kind of stuff. If you've got 5 kids, and I do, they're not all going to be perfect 24 hours a day. They're going to do something. And usually it is one of your older kids because you might not have been able to parent at that point. I mean, that's just so unfair to compare Don Jr. to Hunter. Really, to compare anyone to Hunter is ridiculous. I mean, Hunter abused little Asian girls, and that's a fact. And all this stuff. There's pictures of him doing things graphically with girls as he's doing cocaine. Come on.
If you make fun of Jimmy Fallon, he gets pissed, which shows you who he is as a person. Ben says, that's all right. My kids are perfect.
Okay. And so are mine, Ben. So I was just talking about, other people. I have 5 perfect children that have never done anything wrong ever.
But Biden continues to do this. And while we're on the Biden subjects as well, did you see your gas prices are going to go down?
I heard.
Yeah, they're going to go down because guess what the dumbass is doing? He's releasing more of our already historical low national reserves. Yeah, you think?
Uh-huh.
That's our reserves. We didn't even have enough if we were put into a war, by the way.
Uh-huh.
We don't have enough. If somebody struck us or if somebody did something, we don't have enough oil to promote and produce any sort of good results when it would come to a conflict, because he's already released it. Now he's doing more. And that's his idea, how we're going to make gas prices cheaper.
This was the plan all along to give China power. because China is buying it all up.
People, it's a big concern.
Yeah, it is.
And it didn't have to be this way, but we stopped drilling. We stopped a pipe. We stopped the pipeline coming through. We sat back. We had people very worried. We showed that we didn't have power. Saudi Arabia and the Middle East stuck their middle fingers up at Joe Biden because they knew it's time to get while the getting's good with the United States. Media will be like, oh, gas prices, they're down. We love it.
Joe Biden is just so great. But they always do this before an election. The Democrats do always make prices go down on a few things because people have a short memory. And they'll be like, oh, I forgot I was paying $7 a gallon. Now I'm paying $3.50. Wow. Thanks, Joe Biden.
College debt forgiveness.
Yes. Yes. Come on, dude.
All pandering votes.
Mm-hmm. It is. And we understand that a lot of things don't get done. If somebody's running for election, then what they would have done on a non-election year for them, because they're having to run a campaign. But give me a break with this gas price thing. That is so obvious. And I hope people don't fall for that, but you know they will. Oh, I just love me some Joe Biden. I'm loving that I'm paying $3.50 for gas now instead of $100 million.
Well, and people should be concerned.
Yes.
You should be very concerned.
Yes. With the lack of oil reserve. Absolutely.
It's guys, once again, it's every situation of America has gotten worse or weaker. We have not gotten stronger in anything. The only thing that we have gotten stronger in the last 3.5 years is woke, DEI, verbiage.
That's right.
Divisiveness. We've gotten stronger in losing everything. Nothing good is going on.
That's right.
Oh, well, we've got more jobs. You mean the jobs that came back because of COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the stock market going over 40,000 while inflation is sky high, which means it's fake? Oh, okay. That we're really not a strong, solid economy. People, there's major issues.
Major issues.
And news sources don't want to show you. You have to do the research for yourself. You have to go to places like this where we're going to do the things for you that we possibly can. And then if that wasn't enough, how about $7 billion more? Over $7 billion, close to $8 billion more of student loans are being forgiven.
That's right. And who's paying for that? It's not free.
Yes, you know who's paying for it?
Yeah, you.
The taxpayers.
Yeah, that's right.
People, this is once again, this is why he's going after student loan. And even if you get a break, you still shouldn't vote for a man like that. $7 billion more just erased. Number one, it's unethical. Fine. If it helped me, I would still be like, damn, I get it. This is good, but holy shit, this is wrong. It is bad. It is unethical. If you owe a bill, you owe a bill.
You owe a bill.
If someone tells you owe a bill, then you owe a bill.
Well, I guess I can't call my bank
forgiven.
up tomorrow and go, hey, I've decided that I need loan forgiveness for my mortgage. So could you just wipe that away? That would be really great. When you take out a debt and you were told the parameters, why is it that you don't have to pay it back? I mean, I don't understand that. I think it's great. I understand there's a lot of educators that if you work for, say, a public school, and after 10 years, as long as you've been paying on it, then whatever's left is forgiven. Okay. All right. Maybe I can see that, okay. Because you were told that from the beginning, that was your parameters. But I wasn't told at my car payment, oh my gosh, okay, I'm going to pay it for 2 years, but the remaining 3, I just don't want to pay that right now. So can you forgive that? But, bring it here, Joe. You're not giving me anything. I don't get anything forgiven, nothing. And for all the years I own a business, all I got out of that was that I paid the government hand over fist tax money for 3 decades. And they got really, who made the most money from my business was
the government.
The government.
Of course.
Was the government.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's who made all the money. And it's local government, national government, federal government. I mean, there's all these different things. And I said national and federal on purpose because when you own a business, there's all these FUTA taxes and this tax. And so, and any of you that own businesses or have owned a business, you understand that. And so, or if you work for a small business, look at your employer is struggling right now. I mean, they are struggling so much because there's so many taxes, and the inflation is just unforgivable, actually. And
why do you think universities are not screaming from the rooftops right now about debt being forgiven?
Because they're giving them money too.
Because they're still
Yes.
getting the money.
That's right.
That means you, who may not even have gone to college or went to college and I don't know which is worse, and paid your own debt, now have to pay for others.
That's right.
Low income people.
That's right.
So many people have had debt forgiven now
Mhm.
that it's reaching almost 2 in every 10 people
Yes.
having their debt most of their debt forgiven.
There are people who went to trade school who are paying for other people's college
That's right.
educations right now.
That's right. They decided that they were going to do something, like be a plumber or fix our air conditioning, some really great jobs we have to have. They chose not to go to a 4-year university for whatever their reasons were. And now they're going to have to pay for these people that went and got a basket weaving degree. I mean, give me a break.
Debt from student loans doesn't come from the universities, according to Jay. Debt from student loans doesn't come from the universities.
That's right, because the university got their money.
Yeah. And that's what bankruptcies are for.
Mm-hmm.
Robert says strong dollars killing manufacturing. Donald Trump explained this. We ran a soundbite with Donald Trump last month explaining what Robert's saying from the chat line. You add higher raises, the death rattle event is coming.
Yeah. We haven't even begun to hit rock bottom in our country yet. We're heading there, and we're heading there in a very fast pace. But between the Black Swan event and when we start to really hit rock bottom, there's going to be people that are not even seeing it coming. They don't even know what we're about ready to be hit with.
And you can thank Joe Biden and his administration, the worst that we have ever seen in the history of this country.
That's right.
It's banks that loan the money in Missouri. It is Mohela, Mohela.
So this is just another bank bailout is what it is,
Pretty
period.
much. Yep, pretty much. I mean, it's scary that.
But the universities are getting their money.
They are getting
Right.
their money.
So the banks who aren't getting their money because people don't want to pay their student loan,
Right.
this is another bank bailout.
And it adds to our national debt. I mean, it just doesn't end.
Buy silver and pew-pews.
Yeah.
Once again, Joe Biden people got to call him out, and too many people don't. Bill Maher made some headlines a couple nights ago. He was on Gutfeld, said a lot of things, against Biden. He did say that he still thinks he's done a decent or / okay job as president. I'm like, really?
Come on, Bill Maher.
And then at the same time, ripping him for a lot of the things that are going on. But he went on The View to promote his book, as Lizzie was talking about earlier. So he was on The View yesterday. 2 nights ago, he was on Gutfeld. So I stay away from The View because it is an evil show.
It
with
really
evil.
is.
I mean, it is the worst manufactured with no truth and just evilness. I mean, so much so that they've had to do more apologies from a legal standpoint than any other show that's on TV because of all the lies. They literally they'll come back, they lie on purpose, and then come back and read a retraction. And they've had to do that more than any other show on television. That's right, The View. So I stay away from them because they're evil hosts. They are
really
evil and they're not honest. It's not just their opinion, it's that they're not honest and they say defamatory things. Well, Bill Maher was on their show yesterday, and the one who kind of spearheads it all is Joy Behar, which is very interesting to me because, once again, a Jewish woman who's ultra liberal, despite watching all the atrocities that have happened to Jewish students and Jewish people in this country and around the world, just very, very, very bizarre.
Yeah.
Listen to what Bill Maher had to say to her on The View yesterday.
Biden because
Can we start from the
that,
beginning?
not that I have but I'm nervous about saying anything against Biden because I feel not that I have so much power and you have some more than I do obviously, but
I don't know about that.
Are you afraid that you might influence people who are on the fence?
I think you lose all credibility. I do. I mean, my bond with my audience has always been I don't pull a punch.
Yeah.
My bond with my audience is you're not going to like everything I say, but I'm saying what I really think is true.
Right.
That's
right.
Yeah. Okay. And look, Biden just presents as old. It's not really fair.
No.
Because he's almost the same age. Trump is almost the same age as him.
I know.
But Trump doesn't present that way. You look at somebody right away, you can kind of just sum them up. I mean, we are not young, but we don't present as old.
Yeah.
Biden does. I saw him yesterday making that speech.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, he's cadaver-like.
But his brain is good. He's still great.
Wow, he's still great. And she just admitted where Bill Maher at least said, and I'm not a huge fan of Bill Maher, but I like that he's at least calling out woke and the lies about Joe Biden. But he at least says, I say what I think is right. She was admitting there that she doesn't say what she thinks
because she doesn't
right.
want Trump to become president.
That's right. So
I'm going to hide truth.
Lie.
Yes. And he basically said, you lose credibility, girl.
Uh-huh.
You're done.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Oh.
And she was trying to be respectful because he's another Jewish man. And
he's ultra liberal.
And he's liberal, but she didn't know what to do at that point in time. She showed him more respect than I've seen her show anybody ever.
Yeah.
Ever. And literally looking her in her face and saying, unlike you, I don't hold a punch.
That's right.
I'm throwing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be honest and direct because that's what my audience wants.
That's right. And he in a subtle way.
His brain is good though.
Yeah, his brain is
what?
Good though.
What?
What do you mean his brain is good though?
Good for what?
Eating some ice cream and getting brain freezes? I don't know, but I liked that I still don't trust him. I still wouldn't want to think that he's the best guy in the world, but I do love that he's selling a book right now because that gets him out on the circuit to talk to people. And he's telling people what you and I have been saying way before I've heard really almost anyone say, is that this woke stuff, both on the left and the right, and I think they're the same person, to be honest. I think the person that is woke left, woke right, and I'm just going to say it, they're not very intelligent. They want what they want to say, but they're really saying the same thing. And they go to these huge extremes, so they're not even true. And so he is now doing that. He's finally a liberal that's telling other liberals, stop with this vitriol because you look like a dumbass. And it's pushing people away from the Democratic Party. And that's really what's happening.
Kathy says, did you guys hear what he said about the speech that Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker gave? Yes, we showed that soundbite yesterday.
Yeah, we hit that pretty hard yesterday. And I'm glad you brought that up, Kathy, because he was telling people the truth, that people can have an opinion and you don't have to go off on this big tirade because you don't agree with him. And almost everything he said on there was nothing wrong with it. There was nothing. And so he was like, I'm not going to call this guy out. He didn't say anything bad. So I was glad, Kathy, that he did say that.
And this is why we do the show that we do, facts before feelings. And this is why when we're out in public and see people thank us for doing the show. Now, nobody's going to come up and say you suck, usually. I mean, it's not going to happen. But there is a need, there's a hunger, there's a desire for truth. And that's what we try to do. Mm-hmm. I just see these people in these shows, and you just got to know who they are and what they are. And by hating Trump so much, they'll say, they'll do, they'll try to make you think anything for what's going on. Chris says she knows that he has a far larger audience than she does.
That's
and
right.
Doesn't want his audience to come after her in the show.
Right.
That's why that stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
Before, we gotta, you guys asked for it. We need another laugh. I mean,
we do need a laugh
because the country is, it's the proverbial saying, going to hell in a handbasket.
That's right.
You guys asked for comedy from Donald Trump.
Yeah.
With this tic-tac.
Yeah.
I guess could we refer to it as the tic-tac economy that Joe Biden?
That's right. And we played it yesterday, but we keep getting asked, please play it again.
Back by popular demand.
Uh-huh.
Donald Trump's comedy skit on Tic Tacs.
The energy is what caused this massive inflation that we've suffered through. And then everything caught on. I mean, you ever see bacon where it went up 4 times over a course of 3 years? So I don't eat bacon anymore. It's too expensive. But unbelievably, Crooked Joe Biden went on television last week and he proclaimed in an interview with Americans that he's saying that Americans can actually afford his brutal inflation tax. He said they can afford it. He declared that families, quote, have the money to spend. They have the money to spend. They don't have the money to spend. They've run out of money. I mean, they're on literally, people don't have, if they get sick, if they're away for 2 or 3 days of income, I don't know, what do they do? You know, you're spoiled. You're a lot of rich, very rich people. You know, you set all sorts of records tonight. Have you heard that? You set attendance record and you set a money-raising record. But can you imagine if you miss a couple of days of work, can you imagine you can't pay your bills? I mean, we have the highest percentage of that we've ever had. And Biden blamed his economic disaster on companies shrinking the size of their sticker bars, okay? Can you believe that? But, you know, it's a funny thing. I don't know if you can see it out there. Does anybody have good eyes out there? Because this is, okay, so I just got this today. Somebody handed it to me. So weird, and not as a joke. I said, anybody have any Tic Tacs? And the guy said, yeah, I have one. Look at the size of that sucker. Can you see that, Pete? This is called Biden Tic Tacs.
Biden Tic Tacs.
Can you see it, Tom? This costs more money than the one that was like 10 times bigger. This is inflation. That's a perfect. The guy actually handed me, do you have any Tic Tacs? Yeah, here, take mine, sir. I say, what the hell is that? I'm never going to lose this. This is going to be a part of our.
That guy gets more laughs than most comedians I know.
He's so funny. And as we said yesterday, we need to hear him when he's funny because he loves this country more than any other, quote, politician or leader in my lifetime, I feel. And he's funny as heck and he gives you hope and you get done laughing at him. It's just so fun.
Donna says, because we do welcome all opinions and views here. And, you know, you can agree to disagree. She says, they're saying that there's going to be record air travel this weekend and the beaches will be packed, but people don't have any money. That doesn't make sense to her.
Well, and you know what? I don't know if that's true, that's what they're saying this weekend. Usually holiday weekends, there is a lot more travel, but they're also saying there's a lot more credit card debt. We're at the highest credit card debt. So people might be traveling, but they're maxing their credit cards and they're giving out credit cards like candy.
With like 30%, 33% interest
Yes,
rate.
we keep getting them daily between one of our kids or one of us giving credit cards, and they are up to 30% now. So they'll give anybody those. And the percent, you'll never get out of credit card debts. Guys, just do without right now. Just don't go, you know, like I want to travel this weekend, but you know what? We're just not going to that much this summer because I don't know what's going to hit us. I don't know what's going to hit us this fall. So I'm afraid to do too much of that. So we're just going to stay around this weekend.
It's the students that got their loans paid off going on vacation. Yeah,
that's probably true. You know what? It probably is the young people who got their credit card debt.
Oh, that is great.
Or not their credit card, their school debt.
Guys, thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. Just let people know what we do. If you run it, hey, check this out. Send them a link. Let people know what's going on so we can continue to do what we're doing and continue to grow. Ben says, from my perspective, people are spending money mostly on credit cards, which is what we were just talking about. Mm-hmm. From the chat line, you've got to live within your means. The bank keeps allowing things to happen. Being on a fixed income makes it even worse. I was talking to my aunt about that yesterday. People on fixed incomes, very, very, very scary.
Yes.
Talking about Donald Trump, he has the quick wit, even with the best of stand-up comedians, is what Joe said yesterday, while Biden has the intellectual prowess of a brain-dead goldfish.
Brain-dead goldfish. That's perfect.
Sits there in the corner.
Yeah. Big difference. And I like how Bill Maher said that. Look at these two men. There's a lot of people that are not overly excited about this election. They're not as Trump as say I am. They see two old men. They're still going to vote for Trump, because just like Bill Maher said, you see one that's a dead goldfish and you see the other one that he presents himself as a 50-year-old with a lot of energy. So when you look at it that way, you can go, okay, you're not looking at two old men. Age doesn't define how old you act. It really doesn't. Those two are the reason why. Give me Trump over anyone else running this country. He can do circles around most people and does.
Let's go to this. With all of the, Alan Dershowitz, by the way, liberal lawyer, super successful, highly thought of, came out and said what he has said over and over and over and over and over again about what Donald Trump was dealing with, that it was election interference, that he's been in courtrooms all over the world and said this one case against Donald Trump is the worst display by a judge, Juan Merchan, about trying to convict somebody with no evidence, that the kangaroo court is in existence. And then all of a sudden, a Democrat, she got into trouble. And she's basically admitting in the soundbite that what's happening to Donald Trump is election interference. Listen to AOC talk about what's happening here.
And by the way, he's doing it in the South Bronx, not to make a point, but because he's got court. And the man practically has the legal version of an ankle bracelet around him, and he can't leave the 5 boroughs because he always has to be in court. And so it is truly an embarrassment to him. And I am looking forward to the response of everyday Bronxites talking about how they feel about him coming to their backyard. And by the way,
okay, she just basically there's a lot to unpack, that he's got election interference going on, so he can't go anywhere.
Yeah,
that's what she's admitting. And then she wants people to go out because they're deathly scared of Donald Trump's support in the Bronx after what they saw in New Jersey.
That's right. That's right.
What a freaking moron.
Yeah, she was like, manic. Her eyes get real big. And she's like, you guys, the Bronx. Not really what she's saying, Vic, is this. The Bronx loving you guys. We have literally locked him down. We have interfered with his election. And damn it, they still like him. That's what she's really saying.
She acts like they're pro-Palestine supporter or protesters.
Well, she is. Yeah.
Well, what she's trying to do is she's trying to incite.
She is trying
That's
to incite.
exactly what that is. Do not let them run roughshod. Do not let MAGA run wild.
That's right. That's right. We've done so much to him, you guys.
Donald Trump does not matter. If you can see Lizzie's shirt. Can you push your laptop cover forward?
My
or backward so people can see your shirt?
Yeah, here it is.
Donald Trump matters.
Donald Trump matters.
I love that shirt that you wear.
I'll tell you what, let some Trump supporters start protesting and see how quickly they get that under control.
That's right. They'll get it controlled. And like you, it's funny when I wear this shirt, and I try to wear it on specific days that I think they're really after him. And where I live, the majority of the people either say nothing because they agree, or they're like, that's a really cool shirt. But I still will get some liberal that will just stare me down, like their eyes are going to bore through my head so that I don't wear it. And you know what I say to them? And if they look at me real close, I'll go back to St. Louis, honey. This is God's country. I do literally say that. I'm like, get out of here, lady.
From the chat line, AOC is just terrified of the turnout that Trump's going to get in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And she's scared because of her own political future. She's got some very serious competition that's headed her way.
Yeah.
And I think she sees the writing on the wall of what's going to happen. The judge kicking out a Trump witness because he was killing the prosecution's case yesterday, talking about Costello. We're in full banana republic at this point.
We really are.
And that was AOC having a Maxine Waters get in their face moment.
That's right.
Where Maxine, born and raised in St. Louis, was encouraging physical harm on people that did not agree with her stance.
Yeah, the St. Louis city politicians are embarrassing.
They're the worst. They're the worst in America.
They are the worst.
And then
the worst.
And unfortunately, we just saw Jasmine Crockett, another one, start shit in Congress at an oversight hearing committee. And then, of course, she knew him. She would get MTG going, but she didn't. She's like, yeah. Then she tried to go out and sell all her stuff. I mean, it's like, my God. But the sad part about Crockett is I know a Black woman who I love and respect and has a sweetheart who is promoting her as being an awesome politician.
Oh my God.
And it was this Black woman. I got your back. I'm a Black woman. You're a Black woman. I don't care what you say. I got your back. And that's the moment that it was kind of happening.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because I love this woman who was promoting her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not you.
Yeah. And we've had several Black conservatives come into the show. And one of them was Reverend Edward Cage, who listens to our show. And he's got a great setup himself. But he says that's the problem. Like even in St. Louis with Wesley Bell against Cori Bush, they said there will be women that will literally chastise Wesley Bell because he's a Black male and he should know better. And you don't go up against the Black woman. The Black woman is always right, even when she's wrong. And she could be a dumbass and a screecher and a Cori Bush and friends with AOC, but you still vote for her because that's loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm all about loyalty. I'm somebody that's huge about loyalty. But remember that you also have to be loyal to the country that you live in, that without our freedoms, we have nothing. Nothing.
This is Cancel This. CancelTheShow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe, taking care of everything. Make sure we look and sound as good as we can. Wanted to get this out there. Judge Judy just did an interview recently. And by the way, Judge Judy is not a Trump supporter, but she's a supporter of law. And I'm grateful that she did this interview because we have seen what has happened in America, specifically in the last 3.5 years under Joe Biden, specifically with Soros prosecutors, specifically in liberal blue cities, specifically seeing crime skyrocket with no deterrence, specifically seeing police not being given the support that they need in any manner and things getting worse. Well, here's Judge Judy talking for a few minutes about what's happened in this country and how everything needs to change, specifically from a law standpoint, or we're doomed, and we may be doomed already.
We got here because a small group of people who had very loud voices created a scenario where bad people got rewarded and the victim got punished by the system. You know, there is always a reason for criminal behavior. Whatever. Didn't have a good upbringing, didn't have two parents in the house, didn't have one parent in, there's always a reason. You're mentally ill, that's a reason. You took drugs, that's a reason. You took alcohol, your brain is fried. Whatever it is, there's a reason. There is never an excuse for bad behavior. And when society started to make excuses for bad behavior and react to criminality based upon the excuses, it fell apart. It fell apart. You're just as dead if somebody 18 kills you or 17. You're just as dead. Mm-hmm. And if you're 17 years old and kill somebody, you don't belong with kids who were 12 in a juvenile facility. You don't belong in a different criminal justice, but a very small group of people pushed through in New York State, for instance, raising the level of criminal responsibility. Well, that's ridiculous. I mean, if you have family, if you have a mother who's 65 years old, who's walking to the grocery store, and some crazy, for no reason, hits her over the head with a steel pipe and kills her, and they're 17, that person should never be allowed to walk the street again.
Amen.
A society can't take a chance. If I wouldn't take a chance putting him living next to me, why would I take a chance putting him next to you? And when you have district attorneys who are charged, whose job it is to do justice, but to keep the community safe, because you have defense lawyers, their job is, they know their job. When you have elected district attorneys who don't know what their job is, they should go find another job, fill ice cream cones someplace, but don't ruin cities. And what's happened around New York City, Portland, San Francisco, you had district attorneys who didn't know what their job was. And the cities are ruined. People are leaving. That's what happens. So, what do I think? I think we better get smarter because before we get lost. Permanently lost.
We already are permanently lost in this country right now. Some hard-hitting commentary from Judge Judy, who knows the court system, been involved with it for a long time, speaking very directly, not worried about the woke, not worried about DEI,
That's right.
not worried about excuses, not worried about the color of somebody's skin, not worried about showing pictures on TV of mugshots because we don't want people to feel bad about themselves, which is happening at local news stations all around America. They won't show somebody's picture. They won't give descriptors anymore because that's, quote, racist. Not caring about any of that crap, but caring about the safety of men, women, and children in this country. And it needs to be said and played over and over and over again.
I think that was well said.
And before we get anybody ripping the fact that she hates Trump, that has nothing to do with this.
Yeah. I don't even, and I think she actually likes RFK. She's backing RFK. And that's her guy right now. And he's liberal, but he's at least better than Biden. I'm not telling you to vote for him though. But what she's saying is absolutely true. And she's somebody that we've been saying this a lot lately. We've got to have conversations with people who we don't agree with on candidates or even their political party, because other than her being more of an independent left, I think she's still an old school JFK. That's why she likes RFK. She's a John Kennedy Democrat. And if we had John Kennedy running our country today, it wouldn't be all that much different than what Trump is doing. That's what we have to remember. So we need to get back to talking to common sense people who we maybe don't agree with, like Judge Judy. She is absolutely saying, right, it was a very small group. And look at every time this happens. Look at your county councils. Look at your school boards. Look at who these people are. They are very, very small group of people who are delusional most of the time. They are the bad people. They are the one that is somebody committing the crimes or making excuses for a 17-year-old or somebody that didn't have a mom or somebody that was in foster care. But the fact is, somebody is still dead. That person that committed a crime, no matter why they did it, they still killed somebody. And that's the thing that we have to get back to, looking at the bigger picture. These are these very small, loud-mouthed, squeaky wheel people that are doing these things. And so no matter whether they're right or left, they are, and that's why I'm calling woke on both sides. They're the ones going that I don't think they're very bright, but they're loud. And so they get their way and they're destroying our country. I thought what she said was spot on and needs to be heard. And we need to speak to people we don't agree with like that, and to get them to understand pragmatic issues that if we do not get back to the basics of this country, we're permanently doomed, and we're already headed there. I mean, people don't even understand that, but I'm glad Judge Judy gets it. She totally gets it.
She does. And we're going to continue to bring whatever information we have forward when it comes to some of those issues. Before we get out of here today, I wanted to bring this up. Lizzie, this is a story you brought to my attention yesterday, and I know I'm just kind of throwing this at you right now, but you're a very smart woman. I'm sure you can catch up. Can we talk about the Graceland situation? What's going on? The reason, breaking news just occurred. The judge in this Graceland foreclosure auction, it's heated up. Now, a company, and I'll set it up for Lizzie, a company claims that Lisa Marie Presley took out a $3.8 million loan, but never paid it back, having put the Graceland estate up as collateral. That's what I know. You brought this to my attention yesterday. So now this story is making national news.
Yes, it broke yesterday, but it apparently happened a couple months ago that,
so this judge has halted the foreclosure auction.
Yes, because they're finding out that it's a hoax. And I can't remember the name of the company right now, but it is a Missouri-based company and starts with an N, and I'll look it up here in just a second. But when this went into this estate, Lisa Marie, because it went from, it went from obviously Donald Trump to Priscilla, then to Lisa Marie, and then Lisa Marie left it to her daughter, who they put it into foreclosure, saying that it was put up as collateral for something. And it is a company here in Missouri that is scamming her. And so it was supposed to go into foreclosure sometime this week, but it got halted because they're finding out this is a sham. So, I mean, look at all these people that when somebody dies, people are ready to pounce on some of your belongings. So you have your ducks in a row. And it sounds like the granddaughter does have her ducks in a row.
Well, we certainly hope so. I'm still trying to understand everything that goes on with it, because this is happening in Tennessee right now. So the judge said that he considered the real estate unique
Mm-hmm.
to the state, and that there must be time for adequate discovery and for the defense to address the
Correct.
claims made about the sale.
Yes, yes. And there's like a civil lawsuit in the county that was filed basically today. But okay, so it was called Naussany, Naussany Investments and Private Lending. That it's from an auctioning. They want to auction this house off. Is basically what they want to do, and it's a Missouri-based creditor. And they're the one claiming that it was unpaid $3.8 million loan taken out by Lisa Marie. So, but at this point, they can't prove it, and it was taken out as collateral. But apparently, no such loan exists. There is no loan that was taken out. So, and they were having some economic troubles in Graceland because during the pandemic, people weren't going there. And even though that house was basically paid off when Elvis died, there's still upkeep. It's a very expensive piece of property. And so they would use the money from people coming to see Graceland. And I've been there a couple times. I think it is so cool. I really do think it's cool. And it's so Elvis and it's so iconic. But even that area is starting to run down because it's kind of in a ratchet area. I mean, Graceland is beautiful, dated, obviously. It looks, like 1960s threw up in the house, but all the way around it, there's a lot of crime there. And it's just a whole sad situation. What happened to Elvis Presley and his family and all of that. And they're trying to claim that it went into foreclosure because of nobody was going in during that period of time, but they can't find any proof that any such loan existed. So this should be really interesting to find that out. And it says that the granddaughter says the note and deed of trust are fraudulent and unenforceable. She says those individuals from Missouri who are involved in the creation of these such documents are believed to be guilty of the crime of forgery.
Interesting.
So, yes. So that's very interesting.
One other thing that I was wanting to bring up, and our national audience may not understand, but we've talked a little bit about it, are the cicadas.
Yes.
My son, back from college, literally said, "Dad, what is that noise?" He's like, "What is that noise that's going on?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Dude, you haven't heard about the cicadas?" He's like, "What are cicadas?"
Yeah, that's funny. Kids they think they're grasshoppers.
They look like, but they fly too. Okay, so yesterday we're walking to the lacrosse field, and we had to walk near these bushes. They were flying, jumping.
Yes.
They were on. He's like, "Dad, it's on your shoe." I was like, "Don't worry,
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to bite." But holy crap,
They'll mate on you though.
Oh my God,
They do. Haven't you seen those pictures all over the place? That like
Joe, are you getting this? The sound drops.
The cicadas mate on you. They might not hurt you, but like it's disgusting. I've seen one now. Ew. Just think of, what that noise is, you guys. It's a cicada trying to find a wife. It's like, going, hey. It is. That's the noise.
It's a
like,
mating.
It's a mating call. It's like, hey, baby, you want to come to my house? That's what the cicadas are saying.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So that loud noise
is males, cicadas, letting women know they're ready to mate.
I guess when you're a little cicada in a big tree, you have to make a lot of noise.
That's right, to find yourself a wife. So the louder the cicada, the more apt you're to have a wife, I guess. Or I guess these days you don't have to marry them. You can just.
Jay says that it's free fishing bait.
Well, there
and
you go.
Glenn says, yes, the information you're giving is true.
Mm-hmm. That is all true. Yeah. So, I mean, so that loud noise, and see, I never thought about it until this year. I heard it in a low hum, but now I hear about it. And the decibel level in St. Louis, they tested the decibel levels of cicadas, and they are louder than the sound of a long running Metrolink bus.
I saw that.
on my way home last night.
Yeah.
On my way home last night, driving on the highway, you can hear them with the windows up and the radio on. You can hear little, if you drive by a wooded area, you can hear them through the window.
That's right. And they really annoy, I've talked about this before, so I won't talk long about it, but it really annoys my German Shepherd, who loves to be outside, loves to even sleep outside. We've had her downstairs because she really thinks the cicadas are going to come and kill us. So she's literally protecting our backyard from these men cicadas that are trying to mate with these women. And they're just, they're really what it is. It's a bunch of sex going on in your backyard.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
That's what it is. So I can't look at it the same, because before I'm like, oh, great nature noise. And I'm like, God, there's a lot of bugs just having sex in my backyard.
The sound of cicada porn.
That's right.
Oh my God.
That's exactly right.
Terry says, my friend's noise detection on her phone went off because it was so loud.
Yes, it's so loud. It is so, and other places, I'm hearing some of our listeners in the Metro East area, they're not hearing it as loud, but where I live, it is deafening. I didn't even go outside yesterday afternoon because the sound was so annoying and loud. And then once I knew what they were doing in the trees, I'm like, I don't have any time for that. I don't need to see that. And I saw 2 of them on the ground, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, go get a room. I told the cicada to go get a room. Go get a room, cicadas.
So yeah, the stories about your cicada stuff, very interesting. Saw a buddy of mine eating deep fried cicadas in a video on Facebook.
Yeah.
Says they are really good and full of protein.
Stop doing it, people.
I know.
Bug protein is not good for you. I don't care what.
And the botanical gardens, Joe. The botanical gardens are having a cooking seminar to how you can get these.
The whole agenda to push this bug protein stuff, and just when you're getting your protein shakes and all that good stuff, people, make sure that it's either plant protein or animal protein. Do not let them put bugs in your.
That's
protein
right.
shakes.
Yeah, stop that. And all of you going to the botanical gardens,
it won't stop.
Stop going there and looking at the cooking shows on how to cook up these. I mean, they literally just made it and now you're going to eat them. Stop. That's so gross. I mean, that's the truth. That's the truth. So if you think that sounds like good nature noise, no, it's not. It's literally.
I'm not grossed out by them yet, but I know a lot of people are. Megan is, you are. Like, can't even walk near them.
Well, it's really bad in the area that we live. It's even worse at my mother-in-law's house. It is so loud. And I've never been annoyed by the sound of nature. I love the sound of nature. We even go camping. I love all that. We're not going to go camping this weekend like we might normally, because I don't want to hear those things that loud in my ear while I'm trying to just have a campfire. I don't want to. So I'm not going. Because I can just go in my house, close the window, and ignore what they're doing out there. But even then, you go in there, you have to turn up a radio loud or your TV loud. It is so loud at my house.
I'm fascinated by watching people
lose their shit over it.
Yeah.
Well, but
because I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Well, I went to the vet yesterday with my other dog. My little dog is not bothered by the cicadas at all. It's only my German Shepherd. But my little dog hurt her back yesterday. So I went to the vet and I asked him about the cicadas. And the vet literally said, yes, if you have an alert dog like a German Shepherd, the sound to their ears is deafening and hurts them really bad. He said it really hurts your dog's ears because they're trying to protect you. And the sounds, because some dogs' ears are way more acute, and they're like, don't let your dog just hang out outside, because our German Shepherd prefers outside. So we've been having her in the last 2 days because she cannot stand it at all. So, but I was glad it wasn't just me being an old lady that's like, oh my God, I don't like the sound of bugs anymore. He just said this is like in probably our lifetime, the loudest our dogs ever have to deal with this. So he's like, just bring your dog in.
Well, that sound is insane.
It
is absolutely insane. It's, and then, okay, so we heard August. I just got a message that it was late July that they leave by. I don't know what you guys think.
I wonder if it's the area, because I heard it was supposed to leave by the 4th of July in our area, but we have listeners even on the chat lines right now saying that they are in the Metro East and they've hardly heard it all. So maybe they leave here. I don't know if they just dig themselves back in the ground or they just die. So you know what I heard? This is really graphic and I can say it on the show.
Why not?
One of the listeners told me yesterday, because I said, hey, doesn't the cicadas, once they mate, the male dies? I don't know what happened to the female. I think she just digs herself back in the ground. And the person said to me, well, after they mate, the cicada's male penis falls off.
Holy shit.
I don't know if that's true. The rest of what I said is true, but I don't know if a cicada's whatever falls off, penis or whatever it is. Now, I did see them mating. I did see that, but I don't know if he had a penis. I wasn't getting that close to look to see if that's what he had. So I don't know, but
who told you this?
Now you have a vagina. There you go. One of the listeners told me that their penis falls off. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And somebody's asking me if a cicada has balls. I don't know if a cicada has balls. I don't know. don't know, but
I'm trying to look this up right now.
Yeah.
To see it. I mean,
yeah. So
what?
so somebody tell me on the chat line, does a cicada's penis fall off? I don't know. And Mitch said to me, "Were you drinking wine, Miss Lizzie?" No, I don't. I'm nothing. It's just that. Well, you know what? Maybe the cicadas are making me a little crazy. I don't know, because they're really loud in our backyard. But one of the listeners, and I'm not going to call you out, but you're watching the show right now, told me that not about the mating, that you can find, that you can look up. You can look up what the sound is. It's the male mating call to the female. So that's the truth. But whether his anatomy falls off and he becomes a transgender cicada, I don't know. I don't know.
Balls.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, okay. So Donna's saying when the eggs mature, the nymphs fall to the ground and burrow for 17 more years. Okay. So I was right about the females. So
that they burrow back into the ground.
back into the ground. But you guys, what
But
happens
then the
to
male is just left to fly without his
I guess
penis.
the male dies. Yeah. He flies around with no.
But then they won't be.
And then he
Then they won't
dies.
be screaming anymore, right?
Good. Let us.
Then it should be better. They'll mate.
That's
They'll
right.
be quiet. They'll die off.
Right. Well, you know what? Think about it. If your balls fall off, men, you're not going to talk too much anymore.
No, but I would imagine if you're a cicada, you can fly around like there's no tomorrow. You know,
That's right.
All the weight of the everything falling off, you can just,
Yeah.
you know.
I don't know.
They do look like grasshoppers. Too.
They do.
And maybe that's why I'm not so creeped out by
Yeah.
them yet. Even that I had 2 of them on my shirt yesterday and 2 like were bouncing in my hair. And
Well, I always thought that years ago that cicadas were just crickets or something like that, but they're different and they come out every 17 years really bad. I don't remember this bad 17 years ago, but I don't know. Maybe my yard didn't have as many trees around it. I'm not sure.
oh my God. This is the cicada talk. I'm glad we got to. I was going to do it at the beginning of the show, but I'm glad we got it in now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's better to to be eaten by your female, as we see with the spiders.
Well, we women
Black
do
Widow.
eat our
Yeah.
men if you don't behave.
Yeah, I'd rather be eaten.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind.
We could really go down a path.
I'd rather be eaten by my female partner and die than
Then have
To
my.
have it fall off.
have my penis fall
Fall.
off. See you, sucker.
So we could choose what kind of bug we want to be when we get reincarnated. If it's not a cicada, if you're a guy, don't be a cicada. Man.
Oh my God.
Because this show likes men with big cojones and are bold and have big balls. And they're ready. So cicadas, you know what? I have the answer to all of it. Male cicadas are liberals. There you go.
Well,
Their penis falls off and they have no balls. So there you go.
Okay, what a way to end it.
Mhm. So there you go.
The
Start
praying
supporting
mantis.
Palestine.
Well, the praying mantis. Yeah.
Cicadas support Palestine. I love that.
Cicadas for Palestine. So I can already...
That's so good.
Oh my God. Yeah, who would have thought the cicada talk? Isn't there 2 swarms at the same time this year?
Apparently, that's
And this
why
is
there's
the
so
first
many.
time in 200 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is biblical. And the praying mantis guys also eats their male partners too after mating.
Yeah. Wow. It's not just the women today that are eating the men alive.
Dear God.
It's the bugs.
It's natural in nature.
Wow. Wow. So men, you better be aware of what's going on in this world today. You better get a woman that likes men with big cojones, because if you don't, your penis is going to fall off. So you just be
dear
aware.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Dear God. I love it. What's
So-
Nashville mean? Somebody says Nashville.
Well, because Megan is saying that they're bad in Nashville. I guess it's
Gotcha.
She
cicadas.
misspelled it in another.
Yeah,
What-
no.
So why is it Nashville and Missouri and not?
I don't
what
know,
is it about
but
those
Illinois,
spots?
I don't know. Maybe because we have a lot of water. I mean, I don't know. I'm just making that up. I don't know. But you know what? Kevin wants us to know, not only does Donald Trump's life matter, cicadas' life matters. And we have just been doing nothing but bash the cicadas.
Poor
Cicadas' life
cicadas.
matters.
Cicadas
Lives
lives
matter.
matter.
Okay.
CLM.
CLM.
All
All
right.
right, Derek, you have your next shirt to make.
That's right. That's
I
right.
kind of like cicadas for Palestine.
I like that was the best comment of the day. That's right. So if all of a sudden I have a Palestine sign in my yard, I know who did it. It was the
Cicadas for Trump.
That's right.
I mean, that's awesome.
That's great.
We'll win Missouri.
That's right. We will win because of the cicadas.
You guys are awesome. Thank you for being with us today on cancelthisshow.com. Remember, our advertisers, Complete Auto Body Repair. Once again, Complete Auto Body Repair, CompleteAB.com, CompleteAB.com. Everything with your vehicle from A to Z. When you go in, when you call them, when you talk to them, let them know you heard about them on cancelthisshow.com. They continue to advertise with us. When you guys continue to go to them, it works out. 314-731-7999. And of course, the St. Louis Injury Council with attorney David Gregory. If you've been in an accident of any kind, trust me, the big firms send their cases to Dave on purpose because he's so damn good at it. He'll take your call too. 314-619-4230, 314-619-4230. Also, you can email him at his state Senate site as well, which is gregoryformissouri.com, gregoryformissouri.com. We appreciate all your guys' support. Anything else, Lizzie?
Well, he is for real. I just want to talk about David Gregory for a minute. Somebody asked me yesterday, how can he be so perfect? That him and his wife are so gorgeous.
I know.
And their baby's gorgeous. And he's a good attorney. And he's a conservative, kick-ass attorney. They asked me if he was real or if he was AI.
No,
I'm like, no, he's real. He's real.
There's a lot of work that goes into that.
Yeah,
nobody's perfect either. I mean, you know, you see pictures and obviously politicians are putting everything out that's
of course
good.
Of course.
But I know a lot of politicians and you know,
but he's one of the good ones.
He is.
He absolutely is.
He is, and that's why, and we're grateful that he advertises with us.
Yeah.
And if you
you wouldn't let him if he was a cicada with no balls, or if he was a lefty.
No, he has balls
like that.
he has balls, and he promotes himself in a liberal-dominated world as a super conservative attorney. Doesn't matter if you're conservative or liberal; he's going to get you the most money because it's all about money.
Yeah.
And I used him, and it was phenomenal. The experience was incredible. And by the way, if you use Dave and you mention cancel this, he's going to cut fees. Attorneys don't do that. He's going to cut fees. So give him a call, keep him in mind. And we appreciate you guys watch us. Happy hump day. We're already halfway through the week. We can't wait to see you tomorrow again. So that does it for this affectionately called fastest 2 hours in podcasting when it comes to news and headlines. For Pro Joe, Lizzie Sparks, I'm Vic Faust. Guys, have an awesome day.